Collider Live is back, everybody, and so is It. That's right, It Chapter 2. It came out today. We're going to definitely talk about that trailer, and Josh watched it, so we'll get his take for sure. But there's a lot of different takes that we're going to have on this show, but they're not that important, and I'll tell you why. Because Liam Cunningham, Sir Davos from Game of Thrones, is coming in today at 11 o'clock. Cannot wait to talk to him. This is going to be exciting.
The best part was yesterday. Mark's like, oh yeah, tomorrow on the show we've got Liam Cunningham. And you looked at him like, wait, what? You didn't? How did? Is it? And then show was over.
Yeah, and that was it. It was a great tease.
Pull.
Yeah. It was a great tease. But
you should do that every time you get a guest like that, Mark.
Yeah, and not only is Liam Cunningham in today, Mark Ellis, baby cats, he's here. How's your time in Westeros going?
Agree with a lot of hostility this morning
Yeah, were you? What happened?
by the show host.
Dorina, what'd you do?
Yeah.
Me, always blaming me for your bullshit.
Yeah, well, you do a lot of
Kristian
dumb
just
things.
gets a little too excited. He comes in hot, and he just like cracking jokes.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, why don't you sit there and not talk like an imbecile?" Hey, Dorina, how you doing?
Wait a minute. I'm so glad that you just made that face because yesterday the lip came out.
Oh.
I saw angry lip, and but no, not to me. In defense of me, which was even better.
happened?
Christian almost died, and I saved his life.
With an angry face.
What happened?
We were at Wood Ranch, just kind of shooting the shit, having a nice lunch.
Thanks for the
going over
invite.
some it's business stuff. He doesn't concern the kids.
Okay.
So we had.
Offended me a
Yeah, it
little
was
bit.
definitely
You offended
nothing
me a
but
little bit.
business
Nothing
talk.
important.
Yeah, I think we talked about the Cowboys in 2007.
Yeah, they had the game on from 2007, so I was quizzing Christian on what happens in this game. It was
Yeah.
a Tony Romo fumble.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
But as we're leaving, we decided to walk up and do some other business stuff. So we're walking across the street, and this woman, the red light.
Yeah.
This woman's going fast.
Yeah.
I mean, really fast. And she realizes maybe she's texting or whatever she's doing. Last minute, slams on the brake into where you hear everyone around looks
And
like
the
it's that
car,
loud.
the car, she was the car
It was a hunk of shit.
was like moving, swaying back and
Yeah.
forth, kind of like a locomotive out of
Like
control.
or like a go-kart. Just didn't
Yeah,
have the right thing.
yeah.
It was a
Damn.
it was a piece of shit, right? So she just and she freaks out and she hits the thing and I'm like, it happens, whatever. But the lip comes out. And the lip turns around and he turns around and he goes, that wouldn't have happened if you weren't going so fast.
Dad Ellis.
And she
Dad Ellis came out.
and she stops and she's like, and he goes, but it wouldn't have happened if you weren't going so fast. And I'm like, yeah, Ellis, go for that
she
shit.
blamed it. She blamed
Go
it on
for
her
it.
brakes. Her brakes. She's like, it's my brakes, and I'm like, well, again, you wouldn't have problems braking if you weren't going faster than the speed
Was
limit.
not
Yeah.
taking the
And
excuse
this
at
was-
all.
She had one of those.
Disappointed Dad Ellis is scary.
It was scary.
She had the handicap placard,
Yeah.
which is, again, if she needs
She doesn't
assistance,
seem
fine.
handicapped then.
But these people driving with the handicap, sometimes they just take it as a license to do
liars.
whatever the hell they want.
Well, don't do the lip to me. Don't get mad at me. Go a little closer.
Okay.
Just a little closer.
All right. I don't understand why.
For some reason in
We
this studio,
can't-
it's not your fault.
But why is it every
used to go
time
hunting?
I get
It's not your
blamed
fault.
on? I get blamed for this.
It's not your
Just
fault.
put
They're
your-
like,
put your
oh,
mouth like
Ellis
this,
is
Mark.
so loud. Like, I'm literally talking the way I
I know,
always
but
talk
for some
into
reason-
the mic.
but go closer.
What is the issue?
You just have to go like this, Mark.
Yeah.
See,
Just
see how
be
my
I just
face
have
thankful
to
for
eat the
your
mic
voice.
like
Yes,
that.
correct.
That's better.
It's not your
Yes.
fault.
Jesus Christ.
Correct.
It's
Co-
never your fault,
But
Mark.
Cody,
It's always Christian's
but
fault.
Cody, guess what? he had it. He was doing it, and then what happened?
Hold on, Kristian. We want to set that up again?
I will.
Yeah.
Mark had
Let's
it.
get that timing down.
Mark had it. He was doing it. He was on point. He was just a little away from the microphone, and then
Oh, the fucking dog got the bacon.
It's true, Mark. Mark,
that's my.
Is that one of your
Yeah.
friends from high school?
No,
Oh,
actually,
the fucking dog got the bacon.
It's Saul.
yeah, it's Saul.
Sounds like any one of the number of kids he used to play stickball with that maybe did a stint in the clink.
It easily could have been, but no. Saul was just a gem that we happened to find on this show.
He called 2 days ago, and he was trying to ask Roxy a very
Personal.
therapeutic, personal question.
He's a
and then
fan?
He's
Yes.
a fan. His name's Saul. When he calls, he's like, "Hey, Saul," just like
He's now like part of. If we had a whack pack, he'd be part of
Yes.
that.
Wow.
And he's like, "All right, Roxy, I got a question for you. So you talked a lot about on your one-on-one about this, and I got to ask you, is that why you don't like Doctor Strange?" And then he's like, fuck, the dog got the bacon," and his dog ate the bacon while he was on the show.
Because it was amazing. He's talking about he was here. He's like, I'm here cooking eggs, but let me ask you questions. And then in the middle of it, he's chasing around the dog.
Oh my God.
It was the best.
Are you sure it's not like a Finstock character
No,
that he's
no, no,
doing
no.
that he's
No,
having
no,
some
no,
laughs
no.
with?
He's he's incredible.
That'd be
Finstock can't
great
do that
though
voice.
if that's what it was and you guys didn't know.
If it was a bit,
Yeah.
I don't think so, man. It looks like that looks like the fucking dog got the
Yeah.
bacon.
And the guy's name is Saul.
Saul.
All right,
It's Saul.
Bible trivia time.
Oh man.
What happened to the guy named Saul in the Bible?
He died.
No.
Oh.
He gave birth to.
What is it in Spanish?
Saul is. Isn't Saul the
I think it's
father?
still Saul.
Isn't Saul the father of Cain and Abel?
Saul is the guy. He was
Like
on the
Salomon?
road to
Is that it?
Damascus. He got knocked off by a giant light of God, and he renamed himself Paul.
Oh.
Started writing letters to people.
How do you know this so well? I
'Cause
blocked
he's
it
from
all
the
out.
South.
Everything I learned in Catholic school, I just blocked it all
He
out.
used to be a religious.
Me too.
I did not used to be
religious.
Of religious.
A religious. He was a religious.
He's so
That's
religious.
very impressive.
No, I was not. I was never a religious, but I went to Catholic school.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
too.
Well, me too. But they
Yeah.
didn't. I didn't learn that. They just showed us those cartoons as kids of
Yeah.
Adam and Eve, and then how rock and roll music was of the devil.
Yeah.
So I
That's why I
went.
kicked
Well,
so much
Yeah,
Yeah,
ass.
so I went to my house and I was like, "Mom, like Black Sabbath is of the devil." She's like, "No, it's not."
Yeah, Catholic
Just
school.
as much.
Catholic school to me was more of my school to where I learned how to do comedy. I didn't really learn anything in school. I didn't learn anything about religion. I just learned how to get jokes and get suspended.
We had this nun. Her name was Sister Mary
Grace.
We called her Sister Mary Godzilla because she had these Godzilla glasses that were like an inch and a half thick.
And she fucked you up.
She was a big
Right.
woman. So we were allowed to
Kaiju
dress up for
nun.
Halloween. We were allowed to dress up for Halloween, which is totally like a pagan thing. But they
Yeah.
were like,
Right.
we'll let these kids dress up for Halloween. So I came in dressed as Sister Mary Godzilla.
Oh, that'll work.
And oh my dude, I got the shit kicked out of me by this woman. I mean, never have I been
Did they
kicked out of
slap you?
school. Oh, they had the ruler.
See,
Yeah,
that's
we had
thing.
the rulers.
They don't. They still not today. In today's,
No, they're not
there's no
allowed.
chance because when I was going to school, St. Robert's was school, right? They had. I remember first grade. This kid Phil Ferranda, right? He did something, and he didn't even do anything that bad. And I remember the nun picking her hand up and cracking Phil right in the ass,
Yeah.
and he just bounced. He was just like, but he just took it, and he just took it. He went back to his seat. He didn't cry or anything. He just took to crack in the ass and sat down. But I remember nuns would be smacking people
Yeah.
around.
It was like when we were so worried. It was like, what? It was like 20 years ago when we were like, oh, this guy from America is going to get caned in Singapore. It was like, go to a Catholic school. You get caned every day.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. They one time, one of the nuns had a ruler that she would like throw, and one time she was looking at somebody, and she threw the ruler at them, but she had asked the question. And she might have been looking at me. She might have thrown the ruler at me. She threw it, and as she threw it, she pointed at somebody else over the room to answer the question right, and I couldn't resist.
It was like a no-look pass.
I yelled, "The no-look pass!"
That's really good. You know, we had that. I mean, Miss Jacobson was another
And then
one.
I was in detention.
She threw an eraser. That was her thing.
Oh, yeah.
The eraser would
Mr.
and people,
Ballora.
people would come out with chalk all over themselves. and-
Eraser's a good throw.
The eraser was
Whatever.
the
We
ones.
got La Chancla all the time.
That's
so.
what the hell is that? Is that like one of
La
those
chancla.
firecracker
no.
hammers?
No, it's like no. That would have been awesome
that's-
though.
yeah.
No, it's just a sandal. We call it
Oh.
La Chancla. That's what
But
your
you said
parents
that
throw
like
you.
we should know what that is.
You should.
Why would?
Because
why?
it's terrifying to Mexican kids.
Okay, but
Like
the
La
same-
Llorona or El Cucuy.
What did I say to you yesterday as saying that you had no idea what I was talking about?
Well, I just never listened to what you're saying.
That's come on, the joke already. But what's the
Oh, really? Do you
what
want to
was
do
it?
that? You want to do the joke where like, what did you see last night? Do you want to do that one again?
Yeah, that's a different thing. That's not a joke. That's-
yeah, the
you
one
guys
that-
take it
like
as a
the one
joke.
where you're never gonna see the thing, but
You-
you're gonna torture us.
You take it as
with
a
that
joke.
stupid joke
I just
every
had,
time.
Do you know what I watched last night?
Finish The Sinner.
No, I had to watch the stupid. I did finish The Sinner. That's absolutely right. The last 10 minutes of it. I finished the last 10 minutes. But then I had to watch the stupid voice. So I was checking my emails the whole time. So I watched nothing. You take it as a joke. I just like to let you know what I watched last night. That's it. So
I don't like.
Oh, sorry, Christian. You don't know about La Chancla? mean,
I
everybody
should have
knows.
known.
Yeah,
I should have
you're an
known
idiot.
about La
I'm
Chancla.
sorry.
Yeah,
Listen,
The
it's really
viewers, I
stupid.
bet you know.
I
Right,
apologize.
Mark?
Some of them.
Reilly? Not Ellis?
If any one of these
He's
knuckleheads,
not even paying attention.
any one of these knuckleheads knew what Shunka was,
He's still watching the It
No,
chapter.
they're
trailer.
talking about something else.
I
Not
legitimately
El
thought
Chancla.
she said La Chocolate, and I was like, oh, it's Mexican for chocolate.
I did. You remember I was telling you, I had the dilemma. I don't know if you were on the show when I had the dilemma of whether or not, because I've been telling my daughter for years that I could do magic, and she's starting to like really get carried away with it too. She wants me to like put her in TV shows and stuff now, and I'm like, it doesn't work. I'm like, it doesn't work. And then she started watching Zack King, who, if you don't know Zack King, he's like a very popular Instagram. He was Vine first and Instagram, and the guy's amazing. He's got like 21 million followers or whatever it is. And so she was watching all these videos, and then he's doing this one thing where he jumps into a car, like it's on the road, and he just jumps into it, and it's crazy. It's
He's
crazy.
a magician?
He's like editing. He edits videos,
okay.
but it looks amazing. But he's a today he's like the 2019 type of magician, to where he's using
The YouTube David Copperfield.
more or less, yeah.
So
more-
it's like
Okay.
special
Well
effects
said.
and stuff.
Yes, but it's
Yeah.
incredible the stuff that he does, right? And it's very impressive. But my daughter now, because she really gets into this stuff, she's like, Dad, I want to try to jump into a car. And I'm like, okay, listen, here's the thing. He edits really well, and he's an editor. Because this one I had to let cat out of the bag. There's no real magic going on. So this morning she says to me, Dad, I just want to thank you. I'm like, what? She's like, you spoiled Zack King for me. She's like, you told me it's all editing, and now I know it's not real. I'm like, I don't want you jumping into cars on the 405.
She could be a stunt woman when she grows up.
When she grows up,
That'd be
that's
kinda
fine.
cool.
Sure, and it would be awesome, and I'd be all for it. But 7 years old, trying to jump into a car on the 405,
Good Lord.
explain that to my wife.
Nobody should do
Well, I
that.
told her I was magic, and although I did use the unicorn poop as a
nice.
magic trip yesterday.
Yeah, don't let her see those parkour vids.
no.
Like the kid running all over the roofs and stuff like that.
Dude,
That's what you got to block.
nuts.
Those make me so jealous. I wish I could do that.
It's almost like a superpower, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
When they're running,
really is.
Yeah.
When they're running on like ledges that are 50 stories up, I think to myself, what's wrong in your brain? Why do you
They
do
just,
that?
But
they
if
just
you were able to do
experience-
it.
Yeah, they experience fear different than
If
we
I
do.
if I
Yeah,
could
sure.
give that power to a 22-year-old Macuga and tell him, I guarantee, what I'm going to tell you, you're going to jump roof to roof, and you won't fall, but you'll be able to do exactly what
I
these
would
guys are doing.
love
You're going to do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what's
have
going on.
done stuff like that. I've seen it at parties. I've seen you jump off roofs into
Started
pools.
That's true. That
Here
is
you go,
true.
Macuga. So here's how to get started in parkour or free running. That you can teach yourself.
Remember
So
when it's called freestyle walking?
yeah, now it's parkour. Look at
I
this
can't
guy.
real
even do
dizzy.
that.
Look at this guy. He's
so-
rolling down a hill. I don't think this guy is really pretty good at it.
Should we just start parkouring in little
Parkour.
hills like that?
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
I will
These-
say I used to date this girl that lived on Crescent Heights, like just south of Sunset.
Parkour expert.
Totally parkour expert, and she lived on on the second or third floor. I think it was second floor, and I used to like climb from the one balcony and like leap and then pull myself up to the other balcony.
I
And
know who you're talking
you know
about.
what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah,
And I
yeah.
scared her to death one time. It was pretty funny.
I tried to do that once. I just have to tell this story. In the movie theater I talked about, where I met Barnaby.
Yeah.
Told the stories of Barnaby, by the way, not using his real name. The one who went to jail. Yeah. Told the stories of him.
That's who I thought was the dog bacon guy.
No.
Saul.
Yeah.
Saul.
No, Barnaby. But I worked at that
fucking
theater with Barnaby. But my other friend Brian, in the back, very similar to what you were just talking about. There was this ledge, and then there was right across. Think about Queens rooftops and
Yeah.
stuff, right? But this was the back of this theater, and so he makes this move from this one ledge, and he was a maniac. He's one of those guys who'd be doing parkour. So and I'm 19 or something, maybe 18,
Fearless.
and he jumps up. And he pulls himself up, right? So I'm like, I'm doing this.
Oh
right?
no.
So I jumped once, I missed. I jumped twice, missed. He goes, it's not working. He goes, don't do it. Don't push your luck. I go, nah, I'm doing it. And I jump and I catch it, and I realize I'm fucked, and I fall from off this thing, and
How
I
far do
land.
you think?
He goes, and I go, something's broken, and I what did I shatter? It was this part over here. I thought I broke my back though, but I had to go into a cast. But yeah, and
Shit.
it was not good.
Have you all broken bones?
Yeah,
never-
I also
I've
broke my
never
wrist.
broken
Also,
bones.
I've only broken fingers and toes, which really doesn't count because everybody just
Yeah.
does that all the time.
I
but-
don't think I've ever broke. You know what? I had a dream
Stitches
last
galore,
night
but-
that my hernia stitches came undone, and I had to
Such
get
a weird dream.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a weird
it
dream.
was pretty intense, man. It was the weirdest dream because like I had to get it stitched back up, but like we were like a bunch of us were on the road doing something, and we got to take a tour of like an Air Force base, and then we got to go up in an F-16, and it was me and Jared Haven. We're in a
nice.
we're in an F-16.
Is there something you're not telling us
Yeah,
about?
pretty good day. Pretty good day.
I trust Haven.
Despite
He's
stitching
got a Top
the,
Gun look to him.
sewing the hernia thing
yeah.
up.
Haven's one of the type of guy. He just seems, whether it's true or not, he seems like he picks things up fast.
Okay.
Maybe
he,
not.
Yeah, he could fly an F-16 with like if he was in
Right.
it for like a day, he'd be like, I got this the next day.
Yeah, we gotta get those two back on the show, Riley.
Yeah.
Haben and Ashley. They're
He
what a
tweeted
trip.
out
So
something
weird.
because he loves Rob Thomas, right? Rob
Oh, he
Thomas
loves
is,
him.
like freaks out.
Yeah,
So he's like,
yeah.
if you guys haven't listened to Rob Thomas's new album, these two songs, not trying to dog
still
on Rob
makes
Thomas.
albums?
Yeah.
He
Well,
loves Rob Thomas.
I'm not trying to dog on Rob Thomas because my favorite artist of all time is Steve Perry and Journey and whatever.
Right.
But like, again,
There's no shame in that.
He's a good singer.
I had no idea that Rob Thomas was still making music.
Right.
I thought he
Me
was just
either.
touring on Matchbox 20.
Well, that's the thing. It's funny. Last night, joking about the voice, right? But my wife at one point, even she was. It was just on to watch. She's not really into it. It was just on.
The Voice.
And she said, she says like, who this season? She's like, it's so. But she's like, who are these people like ever become superstars? And I said, the thing is, none of them. But because of the age that we live in, like, and I said it, I even dogged on myself a little bit. I go, we do the movie trivia show, right? And because we do a show, whether it's 50 to 60,000 people watching, we're selling out shows, right? These are people who are getting millions of views on The Voice. Even though they're not superstars, they're still selling out shows.
They do the Voice tour, and then they'll probably make an album or make us, or they get like put into a backup band. They're in music forever.
And
Who's
because-
on The Voice right now?
I don't.
Derek.
You don't
Oh,
even
you
know the
mean the
names?
coaches?
The judges.
The coaches
or whatever
are,
coaches are.
Wait. I want to try this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's try
Go.
it. Okay,
You're
so
gonna get two of them every time.
It's Blake Shelton.
Yeah, that's the easy one.
He's still there.
Who's the second? Yeah, there's always the same two that
Yeah.
never leave the
Is
staples.
Gwen Stefani still there?
No.
Adam Levine.
Those are two. Now you got to guess the other two.
Oh
I
God.
hate Maroon 5.
I think I know one of them.
Who you got?
Katy Perry.
Incorrect.
Oh, fuck.
No, it's not Katy Perry. It's not Jennifer Lopez.
No. That's
Jennifer Lawrence. I mean Jennifer
Lawrence.
Hudson.
No.
Jennifer Hudson.
No, Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence would be interesting.
We got a good laugh.
Yeah, we heard through the wall.
So nobody else? Any other
No, I
guesses?
have no idea.
No, you don't.
Meatloaf.
Meatloaf would be
Christina's
interesting.
not there yet anymore.
Not
right?
anymore.
Huey Lewis.
You're getting me to watch a show now.
A member of
That
the
would
News?
totally
No,
watch
the
that.
answer is who's Kelly Clarkson? Kelly Clarkson is one,
She's a
and
talented gal.
she is. And then lastly
That's
is
awful figure, gal.
John Legend.
John Legend.
John Legend. And so those are but anyway, the point is all these people will work because you can use that audience and millions of people who are watching, even if they've diminished, there's still millions of people that are watching. You can use that audience and tour and make money for a long time. But megastars, they don't come out of those shows anymore.
No.
Like there's who's out of the American Idols? There was Kelly Clarkson. There was
William
William Hung.
Biggest star that ever came out of American Idol.
I mean, is she the most successful?
No.
Jennifer Hudson.
No.
Carrie Underwood.
Carrie Underwood is most successful.
Well,
For sure.
because
Clay
country
Aiken.
sells so
Yeah.
much.
Ruben Studdard.
But they were like 1 or 2
You're
years.
really good at
From,
American Idol.
the great-
From
Haired
Kelly
guy?
to Justin.
I know.
Justin
From Justin
Guarini.
to Kelly.
From
I
Justin
think.
to Kelly?
I don't know.
Justin Guarini, I think, is working at the gas station.
No, he's
no,
not.
he's not.
No, he is not.
No, what's he doing?
No, he is
what's
not.
he doing?
It's me, Dr. Pepperman. He's the
little
Dr.
Dr. Pepper guy.
Little Dr. Pepper guy.
Get out of
He
here.
is.
And,
Really?
and it says it now because it didn't used to say it on the
No.
commercials. Now
Really?
it says it.
Yeah.
Justin
Oh, wow.
Guarini as the
Okay.
Dr. Pepper guy.
You gotta credit-
And he's great.
And I'll tell you what.
That's
you-
not a bad thing.
I'm pretty sure it's
to
because-
be known for. That's awesome,
Yeah.
actually. I
I'm
would like
honestly
that. Yeah.
pretty sure that the reason they put like Justin Guarini is because there were so many tweets that Dr. Pepper was like, "Who is that Dr. Pepper guy?" And they're like, "It's Justin Guarini." Like, screw it, we'll just put it.
Wait
in the
a minute.
commercial.
The little Prince guy is Justin Guarini?
Yeah.
The Little Prince.
And he makes that
Are
voice.
you kidding me?
No.
He's fantastic.
My wife is usually so. You know what? I'm going to call my wife and tell her that because she is usually so good at that stuff.
Get it, girl.
I want to see if she knows that.
I like
I
the
love
painting
that Christian thought it was a prank that you and I pulled. Like we
No,
went
no,
on
no,
the
I
internet
believe
and we
you.
figured out a way to put Justin Guarini.
Hold on.
When was the last commercial he did?
I
Like,
saw-
when was-
they're in college football games all the time.
They are
he-
currently
Oh, that's
airing.
why
Dude,
I don't
that's
watch college
crazy.
stuff.
A lot of sports.
I
A lot of
believe
sports.
Well, I
yeah.
watch sports, just not college sports.
His Dr. Little,
I don't care
little
about college.
Sweet.
NBA.
Yeah, little sweet.
Yeah, regular
There's a
sports.
lot of NBA.
Oh, hey, honey, I just texted you, so you're on the air. But I wanted to, because you know how you and I are always. You actually are much better at it as I am. But
Hey,
like,
Sadie.
Hi, Sadie.
Hi, Sadie.
It's
Sadie.
Mark.
but when we see an actor or a person that we're like, oh, wait a minute, who is that person? Oh, you know who that is? You're pretty good at that, right?
Yeah, I have good face recognition.
Yeah, but you know what we
Work for the
dropped? You know
CIA.
what we dropped the ball at, and they just told me this too. This will blow your mind, unless you knew this already. Do you know? You remember that so stupid commercials that we can't stand? The Dr. Pepper one with the little with the little mini Prince guy.
No.
Yeah, you know the one. We've seen it so many times. We how dumb it is, but it's like
Get
it's
your Dr. Pepper.
yeah, it's like a little guy. He's like pretending to be Prince. He's got like purple hair, and he's doing like.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
Who?
It's Justin Guarini.
Yeah.
Who's Justin?
Yeah, from American Idol.
Justin to Kelly.
Kelly and Justin.
I've seen that commercial like one time.
No,
and
you've seen it a bunch of times. We've seen it a handful of times. I gotta show that to you when you see it because we've talked about how stupid that commercial is, and I can't believe neither one of us picked that up.
Sadie, get your Dr. Pepper on.
Honey, I think maybe you've seen it more than me because I can barely remember seeing it.
Yeah, you'll
Now we're
remember
getting
one
a
or two.
window into the
I
relationship.
believe her.
Can I say something to Sadie?
Sure.
Hey, Sadie.
Sadie, hi.
Hi.
Mark
Who am I
Ellis here.
talking to?
Ellis.
So
Hi, Mark.
one of the many things that I love about you is that your husband can call you during his live radio show, and you do not care to play with his stupid bit at all. You're not like, all right, I'll stretch this thing out for radio. You're like, no, I'm gonna make my husband look like the
She's
loser
just like
that he is.
Dorina. Well, Dorina's on the show.
I've seen that commercial like one time. You're an idiot. It's
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I just, I gotta be me.
Are you? You're not downstairs by any stretch of the imagination, right? Because I would love to get an interview with the person downstairs.
No, but I can watch the person downstairs.
Well, I don't want to reveal who it is yet.
Okay, yeah, I can walk
All
down
right,
there.
please do. Yeah,
Who is
Is
the
it your
There's
mother-in-law?
a mysterious guest.
Downstairs.
There's a mysterious guest downstairs.
Is it your daughter or your mother-in-law?
Who?
Oh.
No,
I don't know if you classify it as a guest when you're making them work for you, but
well, we'll see.
Oh,
No, she just gave it up.
That's
She just gave it up.
yeah.
I didn't give up anything.
Trust me, if you listen to the show, which you
Yeah,
don't,
you
you
get
would.
Hey, Sadie, ask Brett. Sadie, ask Brett if he knows who the little Dr. Pepper guy is.
Yeah, we should. Yeah. Where is he?
Okay, I'm walking down there, and this is taking a lot of energy.
All right, well, then you hang up the phone on me. It's
No,
fine.
I don't want to hang up on you because I love you.
Oh, that's sweet. Stop lying, Sadie.
Yeah.
Stop doing it for air. We get it.
No, trust me, she wouldn't.
Sadie, what'd you think of The Sinner, real quick?
Oh yeah, the sinner.
Oh, I think that was a phenomenal show.
Boom.
The acting was great. The casting was good. They didn't try to cast good-looking people like in roles like the judge or, cops. They just looked like people who would actually be those characters, which I liked because it kept you in the story.
I'm looking
And then,
forward to seeing what you think of
Jessica
season
Biel
2.
was so good.
Yeah.
She was so good in it. She completely, all her glamour and her beauty, she wasn't concerned with her vanity. And she was just really in it. And I thought it was a really good story.
How
And
far is
that's, like,
downstairs?
the most important
I
part.
know. Where are you traveling to? Are you downstairs yet?
Yeah.
That's a great review of The Sinner.
Really
It stars
good.
Jessica
Stop, you
Biel.
idiots.
I wish you guys could have a visual
Yeah,
on this
see?
because
Look at this.
okay, you on speaker.
All right.
Yeah?
You're on air.
Uh-huh.
What?
Brett,
Yeah.
how you doing?
Hi, Brett.
I'm all right. I got my Breaking Bad mask on. I got to take off.
Huge mask.
Yeah, it's
for,
like a Darth Vader mask over there. He's working.
When
He's
you're
helping me.
like around hazardous materials. Like
He's helping me turn the garage into like a working cave.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Like a
Got to take
bat
care of your
cave?
lungs, kids.
How's it looking over there?
That's all right. I just started.
Oh, all right. Is my wife being mean to you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Good.
She's like, sniff this vent, sniff this vent.
I didn't make him sniff anything.
Not
Sniff this vent.
bent. Yeah. All right. Anyway.
Hey, Brett. Mark Ellis here on your
Big fan.
horn.
Oh, hey, Mark Ellis.
Which schmo pays better by the hour?
I mean, you kicked it up the last one. I was quite pleased with that one. So I don't know. I think you're in the lead. We'll see how this one ends up.
We'll see how it ends up. All right. Well, good. The good news is that it's so hot in here that we probably all will.
Imagine Kristian being like, "No, we'll give you free lemonade."
Right.
You know.
I gave him 7 DVD codes and a poster of the latest Schmoedown,
I have episode 1, 3, 4, and 6 of Game of Thrones.
which is true.
So
I gave him all those.
give me them out until I finish the
All right. Well, stop talking to us and get back to work.
Don't forget about those expired Knots tickets.
Oh yeah, I guess I gave him expired Knott's Berry Farm
You want to go
tickets.
see Bryan Adams at the Greek? Here
Right.
you go.
2016.
Got great
Brett,
tickets.
we miss you.
Missed you too. Thank you.
All right. Talk to
Bye,
you guys
Brett.
later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, that worked out.
Who else can we call?
It's so hot in here.
It is
It
really.
is.
I'm
It's
sweating through this
brutal.
sweatshirt.
Is there any
Yeah.
way to
Sir
turn the
Da-
AC
Sir
on?
Davos
Yeah, we
is
can't
gonna
put
be
him in here.
sweating.
We can't with that many
It's so
people.
why is it so sweaty?
I don't know why it's so hot
What
in
did
here.
you guys do?
It's what do we do? We're sitting in the room. How do we can
Yeah,
we're
but you're
Storm from the
exuding
X-Men?
energy or something.
I think Sir
can
Davos is going to be fine. Have you seen the show that he's on?
It's just not a nice
He
thing to do to
goes through
somebody.
a lot on set.
That's true.
He's going to be okay.
Cody and
Starbucks everywhere.
Alex has to be in that room with you.
Yeah, he's here
Of
today.
course he is. Because anytime when Cody's there, he's just
Justin Guarini's phone
yeah,
number.
Cody's just working and working hard. When Alex is, they turn into like two kids in the 8th
I
grade.
love it.
It's
We
you know,
like to laugh, man. I'm sorry.
don't you dare apologize. I'm just calling you out what you're doing.
All right.
All right. But you had it. It was there, Cody. You were doing all the sound clips yesterday. It was fine. And then eventually something just happened. You know what happened?
The fucking dog.
That's exactly what happened.
Yes.
All right.
Well
let's
done.
let's move into some news here. It's 10:25.
That's William
That's
Hung.
William Hung.
We all let it happen,
we all
America.
know who it
Yeah.
is.
Every one of us
That's
let
true.
it happen.
Yep.
Next time any of your
USA.
friends get on their high horse and they say, "Oh, you shouldn't do that," or "Oh, you're bullying
You show
someone,"
William Hung.
we all
Yeah,
did
well,
that
we-
to William
we
Hung.
did. What was the other thing that before we
Can
get
we get
into
him as a guest? We could probably
William
get
Hung?
him as a guest,
What are we
right?
gonna talk to him about?
I don't know,
His
but
Christmas album.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
she does,
That's-
and she moves and she moves.
He Googles William Hung and he got a doctor named William Hung. He goes and got his number.
Oh, that poor
He's
guy.
a medical doctor. We should call him. Hello,
Not
William.
really him.
Hey,
Imagine the last thing before you go under. This is Dr. Hung. Oh God, it's the sheeping.
Yeah.
She moves. She moves.
Yesterday,
God damn, I guess.
yesterday we made a big announcement that Collider Live is getting its own YouTube channel.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
And
much.
is now going to be called Dorina Live.
That's right.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's
to
on
you.
the that's on the Sunday show at 11:00 p.m. But it will be on the Collider Live YouTube channel. So go over there and subscribe if you haven't done that already.
When does the channel launch?
Well, I mean, it's officially launched right now, but as far as this show, the 2-hour show, the
Lives
whole
over
duration,
there.
it will live there on May 20th.
Wow.
day after the Game of Thrones finale.
Is that the finale?
Yeah.
And, then,
Finale's
and
next.
it's
We
also
got
right
two
as we get
more
back from
Sundays.
Houston.
It'll
Yeah.
be the recap of Houston, recap of Game of Thrones,
Yeah, yes.
Collider Video, kicking you out of your own. It's like you guys turned 18 and
It will.
it's time to get a job.
Now you can get all the clips over there still. Like we do around 3 or 4 clips a day that you can see if you're subscribed over there. Then you should. If you haven't, this is the first show that you watched. You didn't see yesterday's show, then you should really subscribe to that show because Josh threw something down yesterday. We all kind of went with it. 100
Begrudgingly.
Yes, 150,000 subscribers is what we're aiming for on that channel by July.
By Comic-Con.
But that's like 18th July. 18th,
I think that's
Sunday
that
of
was the
Comic-Con.
best
Oh.
idea you've had.
It's
Josh.
good. And
Yes.
What's the project? You take them out to
No,
another
no,
Morton's
not
on our
this time.
dime?
No, if we
He
hit
loves
it,
doing that.
if we hit it, we're gonna do a Collider live show at least once.
Well, the fans
somewhere.
have been
okay.
the fans have been asking for that. They've been asking for merch, and they also were questioning about the new channel. Well, how many clips are you guys are doing? Is it going to be the same thing you're doing? Or are you going to change it up a little bit?
Well,
or?
there was going to be, so we do 4 a day here, right? There'll probably be 3. Well, there'll still be 4 a day, but 3 of them will go on the new Collider Live channel. 1 of them will go on this channel that we're on right now. So basically, the main channel will get a pick of the litter out of the 4 clips, but the Collider Live channel will get the full show that you can watch 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then the clips will go throughout the day. But that's the only stuff living on that channel now. So there's no more movie talk clips. There's no more Reilly roundtables or anything. Those all have different things. You can find them with podcast feeds. But this is just Collider Live material. That's it. That's where it lives.
I think a live show would be very successful.
I do too.
I think it would be so fun.
What would y'all do? Would it just be like the podcast for an hour and a half live?
I think it'd be a
Where
little-
would you do it?
I don't know yet. That's the whole point. Is it?
Traveling town?
I
kind
would
of
think
show?
it would. I like the idea would be to do it at a bar, remote style, like a radio show.
Yeah. Or like the improv or
Yeah,
something.
the improv, maybe the improv lab or something like
You
that.
go to right
say the
across the
Improv.
street. Go
The
to
main
Flappers.
street.
Flappers got a good main room.
We could do flappers.
Big stage.
I have. I mean, we have a connection over in Arizona at the improv over there. That we might be able to do that, but I don't know. It's just let's worry about that until see what happens
Yeah.
at
We
Comic
Where
get
Con.
to
did you guys
150K,
do
we'll
that
do it.
the show at Comic Con last year? Was it your special or what? not special.
During Comic Con?
Yeah. Yeah.
American Comedy Company.
That's
It's a
right.
great question, Dorina, because I'm actually going to be back there Thursday, the Thursday night of Comic Con. 2 shows,
cool.
a lot of special guests, already booking them. And then I'm going to San Francisco. Ken Knapsack and I are going we're flying out to Burbank tonight.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
love Burbank.
And Ken is so excited.
Is he?
Do you know why?
Why?
Well, he's doing stand up by himself.
Is he going to
for the
Lucasfilm?
first time? He's flying out of Burbank, and the most excited Ken gets is when he called me the last time we were flying out of Burbank to go to Seattle, and he's like, "Hey, if we get there early to Burbank, we can go to Guy Fieri's restaurant."
He loves it.
He loves it.
Guy Fieri just opened like a bar in the Burbank airport,
Flavor Town.
and Ken is all about going to
loves
Guy
it.
You guys
Fieri's.
love
Cannot
Flavor
wait.
Town.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah,
It's so weird.
it's pretty. His place, Guy Fieri's place in Vegas,
That's true.
is top notch. I took a picture of the menu and I sent it to everybody I know. There's
I was
so
on that
much.
receiving end.
You can. This is a menu you can take into the toilet and read time and time
Interesting.
again, and it's the bounty that keeps on giving.
Well, there's tons of shows that are
You
going
should
on.
keep it in the women's bathroom.
You know,
Yeah.
whether it's Mark's show that's going on, in Houston. You guys have a show in Houston that we're doing. That's Friday night.
That's right. Do not ask Josh about his uncle's thoughts on Houston, but Friday night
The 17th.
is the comedy show.
And
Two
then-
shows at the
right.
Joke Joint.
The Schmoedown is on the 18th. You can get tickets for both at markellislive.com,
Yes,
or
you
can also,
can.
or you can just go over to the Schmoedown Live and get tickets over there.
Civil War.
There's a ton of things you can get the schmoedownlive.com. Not only can you get the tickets, you can also get the live streaming for that night. We're going to be doing the Schmoedown Collision on live streaming June 22nd, which you can also get the Schmoedown Live. But you can also buy tickets for Comic-Con. Rachel Cushing will be defending the Inner Geekdom Championship. We do not know who. It will either be Hector Navarro, Kevin Smets, or Mike
Wildberries.
Kalinowski. Nope, or Mike Kalinowski. And one of those will face Rachel Cushing for the Inner Geekdom Championship on July 20th at Comic-Con. So if you're going to be at Comic-Con,
Is it?
get
In, it's in the hall. Like
No. It's going to be. It's at another theater, just like 15 minutes away from
What's it
Comic-Con.
called? What's the theater
I have all the information on up at the
Schmoedownlive.com.
It's called SeaWorld.
Yeah, SeaWorld. No.
There's gonna be a lot of like other shows going on, but the Schmoedown, it's gonna be right on top of Shamu's stage.
Oh,
Cody's
man.
So
bringing it
Shamu's
up
gonna
right
Sweet.
come
We
out
get to
and
see
eat
otters?
the loser.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Otters are so
excited.
cute, but they
Otters are.
reek.
So
but
here's-
they're
They smell
they're
so
so cute it doesn't matter.
Here's the
They're aggressive.
it is at
What a poster.
dude, it is at the Joan B. Kroc Theater. So
that Kroc.
Yes. So the thing is, and we go to Comic-Con every year, and the parties are usually booming on Thursday night. Friday night, Wednesday night, Thursday
then by
night, Friday night,
Saturday, we're all
Saturday.
dead.
But no, it's not even that. It's that there's really not a lot to do on
No.
Saturday. It's usually the EW party. Well, that party that's gone now. What you can do on Saturday night is you come to see the Schmoedown live. Rachel Cushing.
Nobody
What?
was going to the EW party anyway.
That's what I mean.
Nobody gets invited.
Nobody
Just
can-
come to the
no,
Schmoedown.
Just come to the Schmoedown. So
Yeah.
July 20th, and you get to see Rachel Cushing. Rachel Cushing is like Hulk Hogan 1985 right now, as far as the Schmoedown goes. She's the most popular character that we have. She is. If you've never seen, it's like watching Jordan play at this point. If you're a Schmoedown fan, it's like if
I would have to agree with that.
She is so good at every inner geekdom, teams, singles. This is an opportunity to go out. And she doesn't like doing live that often, but it's Comic-Con. It's the fact that she how perfect is it to do the Inner Geekdom Championship at Comic-Con?
At the legendary Joan B. Kroc Theater.
yeah.
I believe she married into that money
Yeah,
by Ray
Ray
Kroc.
Yeah.
One of the McDonald's guys.
But if you're going to be at Comic-Con, please go get those tickets. But let's move on over to movie news, and we'll just get right into it.
Yes.
It's the trailer for It, man. It
Yes.
came out.
So excited.
You know what I loved about this trailer?
so excited.
It's that they lead you in to show you with this scene
Mm-hmm.
because it's such a creepy scene. The old lady, you know that the old lady's bad news from the second it starts.
You
The
know
poor
what I
old
was
lady
thinking?
cast.
Is this, what is her name? Is this Kirsch or whatever?
Mrs. Kirsch.
Yeah, that's
So
what it is.
Jessica
Yeah, that scene in the
Chastain's-
book is so messed up.
She-
so much.
She's talking to the old lady, and as soon as she said, "I have some cookies," I'm like, "This is Ray Finkel's mom."
Yeah.
She's gonna come out with football shape. She's gonna wish gunnery on Dan Marino,
Yeah.
and it's a crossover universe.
Did you love this scene?
Yes. I loved the whole trailer.
Yeah.
The trailer's amazing. I was talking to Perry. We both watched it like 4 times in a row. I'm
Perry
super,
loved it too?
It's my most anticipated movie of the year.
Yeah, you said this is your Star Wars.
Well, no, sorry. It's after the Joker. So
So-
Joker.
So you're taking Joker over this.
Oh, Joker, and then it.
Wow. So
yeah.
if you only had one chance to see one of those movies. Yes.
Those are your
Don't do
top
that
two.
to me.
I'm doing
You're
it
going
too.
those two
No,
over
those-
Episode 9.
Yeah, because I love Star Wars, but I don't love any of the new movies as much as the original trilogy.
Okay, were you aware that there was a Godzilla movie coming out in a couple weeks?
I forgot about that. Can we go see it? Because I really want to see that.
I am nervous about this Godzilla
All right,
thing.
well, let's get it. I want us to stay on target here.
Yes.
Let's go.
Can
ahead.
you
Chapter
take me?
2.
I
Can I
felt,
be your +1 and then you walk away during the end credits and not
felt
say goodbye?
heat coming from this side.
Riley, I'm going to go to you. What did you think about the overall scene?
Godzilla, Reilly, your thoughts?
Going into the trailer.
This is. I love when they do this in trailers and they set the mood of the trailer. And this is a creepy scene in the book, and it didn't disappoint. This was the great. The minute she did that weird thing, and walked off, I went, oh yeah, yes. And I know.
I love how uncomfortable Josh is right now.
Josh is so uncomfortable. The whole trailer looks great.
Yeah.
The Losers Club. The older versions, they look fantastic,
Yes.
especially Bill Hader.
What a cast,
Bill Hader
man.
is crushing it right now, and then see Jessica Chastain and James McAvoy and Bill Hader as the grown-up
It's
versions.
the cast. The cast is so good,
They
but
look
there's
so
also
good.
that one scene, the one part in that scene though, when she just stops talking
Yeah.
and just stares at her.
Amazing.
Or when she opens her shirt a little bit
Oh, it's-
and it's
oh, it's like a
gnarly.
bullet
so
hole.
gnarly.
Shows
yeah.
some skin, and
Yeah.
then she's naked in the next
Like
room
some-
making cookies.
So who's
So
so it's
good.
Chastain, Bill Hader, McAvoy. Who else? And Little Unknown?
Yeah, it's the Old Spice guy is playing.
Oh, that's
grown-up
great.
man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I interviewed that
Isaiah
guy.
Mustafa.
Yeah, let me.
Yeah.
Let me get the cast list up.
He's
And
good at
I
this
just,
stuff,
I'm so
yeah.
excited to see
Yeah, Isaiah Mustafa.
Bill Skarsgård again because he was so
Yeah, he
great.
was really
as
good.
much as I loved Tim Curry,
Yeah.
he was so good
Sneaky
too.
casting choice. James Ransone is one of the Adult Losers Club, and he's the sheriff in Sinister. And he's just got this like he's like a skinny guy, but he's got like a quiet intensity about him. So I
That
think
was
this is
a
gonna.
messed up movie.
Sinister's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So, Josh, watching this because it was obviously the only reason you watched it. Well, there's a lot of reasons, I'm sure. One, because we knew we were going to talk about it today. Two, you know that you have to go
Look
see
at
this
that.
movie.
Well, because that's wrong. I shouldn't say it. Lovely Perry said, "You have to be here tomorrow, no later than 9, to do the trailer reaction." And I was like, "All right."
Oh, you did the reaction?
Yes, it's up on Collider.
Can't wait to watch that
I
four times in a row.
Did you lose your mind like you always do?
It's fed as one creepy ass trailer, and that movie still haunts me to this day. Like,
The
what?
first
why are
movie
you even
we-
going in that house? You stupid idiot kids! Just move. Just get out of there.
Oh yeah, when all the second scene here.
That
Can you
scene-
scroll up a little bit, Cody? No, other way.
That's
Sorry, down.
That
Down.
creepy old
Look
woman.
at that! All those balloons that made me so happy.
Yeah.
Oh, so
She
excited.
should have known something was wrong if somebody moved into her house and that the postcard was still under the bed. Like, who doesn't move the other person's stuff out of the house? Clearly, something's going on in there. You friggin' weirdos.
Can I ask you a question about to the book readers about dairy?
Uh-huh.
If the clown's back,
I'm lactose intolerant.
can
Mark.
I get out?
Well, he's not necessarily a clown, right? It's an entity.
The thing's
Yeah.
back. Can I drive outside of the city limits of Derry and be fine? Or is this
Not
something
always,
that
no.
I don't think so.
Well, like, if I-
no,
if
because no,
I
no.
moved to
And
California
I don't want to
and I live out in
stuff.
California?
Right.
So there's a chance the clown could get me in California.
I'd
I
watch-
don't want
I'd
to
watch your
spoil
back.
stuff, but yeah, you should watch your back.
These
yeah,
book
but-
readers, I feel like we're going to be hearing about
Right.
this.
But the thing is though, you got a better chance of getting knocked off if you go back to dairy. So
Right.
going with what Macuga says is stay out.
Yeah.
But even if
Light the
it's
town on
not
fire
like,
and get out.
Right.
Just light the whole town up.
Right.
Everybody, there's a creepy clown stealing kids. Let's burn the place to the ground. It happened in Centralia, Pennsylvania. Coal seam burst. Everybody got poisoned. You had to move the whole town.
But the whole-
that's even worse. Is a freaky clown with bad teeth kidnapping kids, making them with balloons.
But the whole point is it gets away with it, right? Like
I
it's not
don't
like the
care.
police. It's not like the police knows that this is happening.
The images aren't that bad. Macuga, look at that image.
No, it's a.
Oh, that's
It's not
so
that bad.
good.
But that's the balloon.
Oh,
it's
so
not that
good.
bad.
Look, just
It's a
turn
creepy.
around.
It's
Yeah,
art.
fine.
It's art.
Look, it's
You're
so
dead.
good.
That is the creepiest thing of all time.
Well done.
Thank you.
I just feel bad for the
We
clown.
work together.
You know, that clown, like, he moved to Derry. He just wanted to make a because this trailer gives a little bit of insight into who Pennywise is. It just, look, Christian, it could have been you or I. The guy just wants to get on stage and perform for people, and there's just something a little bit broken about
Yeah.
him. And we've met people like
Yeah.
this.
Well, and Macuga gets very disturbed. Macuga, let me ask you a question. If you if
He just
so,
wants to dance.
I said.
what would you what?
I said in the trailer reaction, I said in the comments below, think about the reward Christian's going to give me for going to see this stupid movie.
This one's
and
for-
Mark Ellis doesn't sit next to me in movies
Yeah.
anymore, simply
Nope.
based off it.
This one's for the bet. And that's what we said because you already saw the
This
first
is
one. You
one
gotta see
that
how
I
you gotta
don't-
see how it ties up.
All right,
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah.
First one was for the bit. I got nothing out of it.
What-
I got Morton's out of Us. Least we can do is meet in the middle and say Yard House.
Fine.
Okay. Go Done and done.
All right.
This is one that I don't want to sit next to you, though. This is one that I need to focus.
Yeah,
and
well,
do
this,
it.
this is what
no,
I want.
No offense.
I want to put the original plan in place
Right.
that we were supposed to have last time. Although it wasn't. It actually worked out because that movie wasn't really that scary.
Right.
Us. But this one will be.
Yeah.
So what I originally wanted to do was place him somewhere else.
Right.
And then we could hear him in the distance.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's kind of what I want to do this
All
time.
Are you
by
okay with
himself?
sitting by yourself next to
No,
strangers?
No. Someone would have to be assigned to him.
Okay, well, because that
Well, then who's gonna do it?
that was
I
the
don't know.
exact situation at the first It. Is that everybody else
Getting a
sat
lip.
back?
We're getting a lip.
And it was me
No,
and
I didn't have a
Josh.
lip yet. That's not the lip.
And we had to sit there like third row,
Yeah.
and we're sitting there, and I'm like, this guy's gonna be fine. Josh is a very good friend of mine. He's my emergency contact,
Right.
and I am gonna coach him through this thing. So I spent 30 minutes of my day sitting next to him before the movie started, coaching him through things,
Right.
giving him pointers like, okay, when something scary happens, look at the corner of the screen, not directly at it.
Right.
And it all goes out the window
Once it starts.
the movie starts.
Yep.
And not only can everybody else in the theater hear him screaming like I can sitting right next to me, I can hear the laughter of my friends
Right.
raining down from up there because they know what's happening down on
Yeah,
site.
we just have to assign someone.
Where's my
Well,
Mortons?
I know.
who's gonna volunteer as
Okay,
tribute?
I-
Because I'm not.
I know you're not.
Here's
You
the
wanna see
thing
this
is
movie.
Yeah.
that Perry said
Yeah.
that she would sit next to me because more than
Really?
likely she's going to have seen this movie
Oh,
twice
that's
before.
true.
Okay, then we
the
sit together.
screening.
Well, there we
Yeah,
go.
I'll sit with you the second
Yeah,
time,
I
but
told
not the
Perry
first
to wear
time.
shoulder pads because I hit her like 3 times during the trailer reaction. I was like,
Yeah.
grabbing it, and
You scratched me during Us.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll
It's
cut my
okay.
fingernails.
It was worth it.
Oh, I
It's
can't
fine.
wait. When is
Yeah.
that screening? That's got to be coming up. Not
August, probably.
end of August, early September.
Is that when
Can't
this
wait.
movie comes out?
It's September.
I feel like this movie's going to be really good.
Oh,
It's gonna,
it's gonna be
I
amazing.
feel like it's going to be better than the first one because with the fact that it's adult, it's going to
Yeah.
be
And
more
those
messed
ki-
up. It's going to be way darker than
And
the first
nothing,
one.
nothing against those kids. Those kids are phenomenal.
Yeah,
but I
they
hear,
were
I hear what
great,
you're saying.
yeah.
That, you can do more. Yeah.
Okay, throw out the Yard House.
Okay.
My
What do you want now?
reward for going to see it is you get me into the junket for Bad Boys 3.
That's not. I can't guarantee that though. I can guarantee your house. I can't guarantee it. I can tell you that I'll send another
What
email.
about
to-
what about
to-
this premiere or something like that?
Well, I
still don't know about that. I can try.
Yeah,
I will
I would
tell you-
imagine the premiere's in Miami though.
I can make
Oh.
a promise that I'll send the emails
Okay.
on your behalf. I just can't promise that you can get into it.
There you go. That's a good deal.
Yeah. All right.
Yard House is a close second.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens.
Okay.
All right.
Or Wood Ranch, whatever.
But then the movie looks phenomenal. I think everybody here is excited to see it. I think that it's. I mean, the fact that how much money it made, the first one made, it's going to make just as
See,
much.
you
the
just
second one.
did something
What?
that you just looped me in. Everybody here is excited to see it. No, not everybody. Like when you're like, hey, Schmoedown, everybody's going to be there. No, I'm not because you scheduled a live event when I'm out of town.
But Josh, so the
Whose fault is
first
that?
Mine.
but when you saw the first It, okay, you were scared, but you also can acknowledge it's a good movie, right? So you didn't enjoy any of it. You didn't enjoy the fact that it's a
I like
He
the
doesn't
fact-
like
well-made
feeling
movie?
that way.
I like the fact that it was like a coming of age story.
Yeah, the
I
kids
love
have some camaraderie.
I
Yes.
love the coming of age story. The kids are adorable. It's, really
a
nice.
Stand by Me with horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, I'll give you that.
So you're and so
but
you're,
now this one, it's like, oh, now it's Bryce Dallas Howard, James McAvoy,
Bryce
and
Dallas
Bill
Howard.
Hader.
Jessica Chastain.
Jessica Chastain. Sorry, that's all right.
He does that every time. Yeah. He's already, you know what I love? This is why I love it. This is why there's no chance that he can't go because we're in what, May?
Yeah.
And this is becoming an event already.
Yeah.
He is just thinking about that day, and you can see the panic in his eyes. And it's
You
an
guys have
event.
no
What would-
idea how close I was when I got to the parking structure for us.
And to driving away.
Just leaving.
I've never seen him so nervous as when he showed up to the theater.
but he's
just
not-
like, where's everyone?
But this is
What's
why I know
going
him.
on?
I know him so well though too, and I know exactly why you didn't leave. It wasn't for Morton's. It was for the bit.
I like the bits.
I know.
This is why I can't host a radio show.
Why?
Because my advice, my professional advice is like, Josh, I know you're not a selfish person. So is one free meal at Yard House worth ruining the movie for quite possibly 400 people who are seeing it at a press screening? Is that worth it to you? Because you're ruining everybody else's night.
Well, Mark, let me just let me piggyback off that if I can. Without us, we would have never gotten the rivalry that is Rebecca and Ford. And
Or that really good tweet.
Did you reach out? Did you reach out?
I
to her,
agree
Riley?
with you,
Hold
but
on.
that was a really good tweet.
Riley, did you reach out to her?
No,
yet?
not yet.
You
I
didn't
need
see
to do
it?
that.
Okay. We need.
I'm gonna
Did you
find
I'm
it.
gonna stand over her shoulder like two terrible writing partners. Like, yeah, put the there. Yeah.
We're gonna reach out to her. We need.
Yeah, I'm gonna
that's
do
the
that
thing.
today. Yesterday was
Is that
too
the
busy.
poor young lady who had to sit
Yep.
next to?
Yes, she didn't like it.
I would have hated it too.
Yeah. Okay.
You should take her to Morton's. She's the one that earned it.
Well, she doesn't like us.
I
very
would
much.
gladly take her to lunch and discuss movies.
Well, she got to come on this show first because we need to talk to her. But all right. Anyway, that's it too, and we're excited to see it in September.
Don't do it.
Josh is very excited to see it. All right. What's next?
By the way, January 17th, 2020, Bad Boys 3.
Is that official?
17th.
January 17th. Oh, here's something. I'm glad I remember this. And this was a big gaffe on our point.
Oh no.
Last week we screwed up big time.
Crap.
We
let Dorina on the show.
Well, yeah.
You
all
screw
of
up
us.
every week.
You screwed up too because you were on the show.
Yeah, but I texted you.
Yes, but we all messed up.
We did.
We didn't even acknowledge or talk about the passing of the legend that was Peter Mayhew, aka Chewbacca.
Yeah, whoopsie-daisy.
And it's been too long that we didn't do that, and I keep meaning to do it, and we haven't done it. Peter Mayhew was an absolute treasure. The fact that he was so giving to Star Wars fans. He embraced what the love that was given to him, and he gave it right back.
Did he make the Chewbacca noises?
Yes. Yes,
No.
he did, didn't he?
No.
He started to towards the end, I thought.
No, he would make the noises during the film. He wasn't
the actual noise. No.
He does a good Chewbacca, but because Chewbacca is like an amalgam of a lot of different things sometimes.
Yeah.
And then
I thought you meant
studio.
but he does. I remember him doing it on for the junkets.
The biggest thing with the Peter Mayhew brought to Chewbacca, in my opinion, besides his height, is he had these eyes that just like he made Chewbacca so like this thing could have just been this weird walking carpet sideshow, but it became like the family dog, and everybody knows dogs are much cooler than humans.
Yes.
So the fact that you had a cool human, Han Solo, partnered up with like the man's best friend kind of angle with Chewbacca, he took that role and he crushed it. It is not easy to just be stuck in a suit and make that human and lifelike and make you care about that.
It's like adult Calvin and Hobbes.
Exactly.
Basically,
and we Calvin's cool. Hobbes is
the Hobbes.
Hobbes is why you're going back.
Hobbes is the shit.
Yeah.
You're not going for Shaw. You're going for Hobbes.
But no, and Peter was a similar to Warwick. Anytime he was around, he's a very kind person. Like just always very sweet to everyone, fans and non-fans. You know, really, it's sad and when everyone leaves. But
how tall was he in real life?
7 feet. Is that what it was? Can you double check? I think he's either maybe. Yeah, he was really tall.
He was taller than Justin Guarini.
He was 7'2". He was 7'2".
Was Chewbacca the Dr.
Did you hear me?
7'2". Holy moly!
He was 7'2", and that's the thing though is that he was struggling for a long time.
Sure,
he was struggling for a long time.
He's taller than Jonas, right?
He's 6'11".
Is he
the new guy?
Yeah.
The tough thing with being that tall and it's your body deteriorates faster than average sized people.
Yeah.
You look at obviously the tallest man in the world, that Guinness World Book of Record. He died when he was like 26, 27.
Like Andre Giant.
Andre the Giant's body couldn't keep up with it. It's honestly, and I hope this doesn't sound terrible, but I had no idea who Peter Mayhew was until I started working with you guys because I don't really pay attention. I never really paid attention to who was behind certain things. It just was me. But once you kind of got the sense of how important Peter Mayhew was, one to the character, but also to like the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, we also it's one of the. I think it's actually a credit to Peter Mayhew that not everybody knows who Peter Mayhew is,
right?
Because we had this as a ruling issue on a recent Schmoedown episode that I don't know if it's aired yet, but it's like because Peter Mayhew played Chewbacca, and now you don't refer to him as like, that's the guy that played Chewbacca. It's like no, Chewbacca is this thing that exists the same way that you're not thinking about whose hand is in Kermit the Frog. You're just like, no, that's Kermit the Frog. And so we had there was like some debate about that.
It was Ethan and Bibbs and Roca.
Right. I can't remember the exact issue, but it's like, for example, you just say Chewbacca. Like you put Chewbacca on the poster and it says this movie stars Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Right. But the other thing that was great about Peter Mayhew was the respect that the entire Star Wars community gave him, but also obviously Lucasfilm and Disney, they knew because he was in really bad health even leading up to like The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Like his body was just
He was already in a wheelchair.
Yeah, but they still said no. You got to get him back, and they put him in Jonas did the majority of the stuff with Chewie moving, but Peter was, I believe, was on the ship, and there was a lot of things that he did, and it was also great because Jonas got a chance to interact with him and learn because it was the movements that Chewie. I watched episode 4 again too, and Jonas is great. He really is, but there was something about the movement of Peter Mayhew with Chewie. You can tell the difference. If you're really looking, you can tell. And he's making it his own, but Peter Mayhew was the first, and he'll be beloved by all the Star Wars community and missed terribly.
And it was great being at Star Wars Celebration. I can't remember if it was either both or it was one. It was either in Orlando or the one in Anaheim, and because they had I think it might have been the 40th anniversary panel. And to see Harrison Ford come on stage and have Harrison Ford and Peter Mayhew just share a hug and have them laughing and joking, it was so cool for us fans to get to watch Han and Chewie as the actors hang out and be friends behind the scenes.
It was one of my favorite moments at the Force Awakens premiere when I just met her, right? And not that moment.
Best day of your life.
Yeah, not that moment. But I was with her. And I remember we were at that party, and we look over to the right, and we hear, hold on a minute, and look over, and Han Solo, Harrison Ford walks over and just puts his arm on Peter Mayhew and just kind of hugs him from behind, and they just kind of have a big moment. Right, from where you are, John.
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
It was just being able to watch those guys interact. It was really
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Anyway, so we just wanted to make sure that we made up for that horrible error that we forgot.
It's hard on Fridays. We're even dumber on
Yeah,
Fridays.
we were really
so,
dumb on that one. So it wasn't.
Sorry, guys.
He was not being. And sorry to him. Sorry to everyone else. But we talked about it at great length, obviously off air. But now we've done it on air. So, Reilly, any other news going on that's worth a damn?
Yeah, I think this is worth a damn. Disney
here we
just
go.
cut half of Fox's output of movies. So they're going to be moving from 12 films on average a year that Fox was doing to now 5 or 6.
Damn
so
it.
the fallout continues.
Why don't they cut out the live action remakes more?
Because they make money
And just
during
have
it.
originals. I know. No, I know why.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Yeah, but this is people have to realize that.
But they don't have enough money?
No, that I hate that. I hate that so much. When people, a lot of people do it well, who cares? They made enough money. It's a fucking business.
Yeah. Still need to employ more and more people.
Right. You don't have to
I understand,
but a lot of
but-
people do that. But you don't have to like the fact that they bought Fox. And I understand that they lost. There's a lot of people that lost jobs, and it sucks. But there's two ways, and you can look, and you're allowed to look at that, and you should look at it that way. But if you're looking at the Disney side of things, right, as a business, that they're following the rules and allowed to do what they want to do and buying it up, right? If they buy a catalog of films and they don't want to make a lot of these and they want to cut back on some and make other movies that are making them money and their product is working the way it is, they're entitled to do that, and they should be able to do that.
I understand that, and we don't know what's going to happen yet, right? They're just making announcements. My thing is, I think there should be a balance between creating things that are for pure entertainment and you're making money and it's a business, but then you should also be investing in real art and smaller budget projects. And so as long as that's still happening, then I'm happy.
They're
but
gonna do that.
I don't know.
They're just not necessarily going to do Fox's slate because they have different slates that they can use it now. They have the Disney Plus side. They also have Hulu now. They have all these different. They have a lot. They monopolize stuff. They have a lot of shit. They do. And I can understand where people go. Here we go. It's like the Yankees when the Yankees were running shops. It's. Here they go. It's just the Yankees spending money again, and it's annoying. I'm not going to tell you that it's not, but they're entitled to do it. It's their business.
The Monday tweets.
Yeah, because but but Monday's tweets. He's right in the fact because he's fighting on the side of things like look at all these people who are unemployed, look at all these people who lost their jobs, and he's right to feel that way, and it sucks that those people are losing their jobs, but it's also the right of the business to say I'm going to buy this. And I'm going to make new jobs down the line, but unfortunately, this has to happen.
Yeah,
it's capitalism.
It's their right, but I think money's coming from a place of like why don't shows? Which is why I'm glad like y'all talk about it. But it's like there's a lot of shows that just cover the side of like, can you believe what's going to happen if Cyclops is in a Star Wars movie? And it's like, well, yeah, but then there's other. The problem with Fox, if Fox was going bankrupt and had to go somewhere anyway, so a lot of jobs could have been lost anyway. But I think that them being bought by Disney certainly accelerated that process.
Yeah, and people should also be looking at, because the thing is, Disney gets the blame because they're the big power money guys, right? Fox should also get the blame of why'd you sell?
Yeah.
I have a question though. So the amount of money that is spent on marketing for all of these really big budget movies, right? Like all the marketing we saw for Endgame recently, was that necessary? Does that actually does marketing for these movies create jobs? Is it kind of wasting money and not being instead of investing in other stuff? You know what I mean? Like what do you guys think about that? Is that
marketing? Definitely, it is a necessity. necessity. And there are a lot of jobs that are created inside of the marketing, for sure. The argument that you can make with Endgame is people were going to see it. Why do you need the marketing? But it is because of the machine that they can put out there, and it's just part of the way that it rolls, and the way you have to part of the machine, right? You've got to now. I don't know what the budgeting was. Was it $100 million? Was it $70 million? Was it
so much money?
It's so much, but you're also going to look at the worldwide side of it, and there's also the small. Like we're also in this bubble too. Everybody here knew about Endgame, and most people knew about Endgame, hence the amount of money that it made. But you also have to wake people up in smaller markets and say, guess what's coming? Endgame. Oh, man, I forgot. I saw Avengers last year, and I guess the sequel's coming out. It's awareness. People aren't tuning into websites or watching this show. They're just living their lives, and then it's like they look up, they see a billboard on a bus, and they realize, oh, Endgame's coming
There's
out.
also just that rich guy thing of like, well, if I have this much money, I need to buy a nice car. Like, do you need to be driving a Ferrari? Can't you just get around town with a Ford Fusion? And there's that mentality of, well, not only do we have to advertise, everybody knows Endgame is coming out, but we have to make our product out there more than any other competitor.
Right.
Even though they know that you're going to see Avengers before you see Longshot, they feel like they need to inundate you, not just for Avengers Endgame, but going forward, so that you realize that this is the biggest shit happening.
Yeah.
And that's, I'm not saying that that's
and look, it's an investment.
Yeah.
It's an investment because to them it's just putting money into making a shit ton of more money. And my question is, I really wonder how much does that benefit the little people, as in like creating jobs, as opposed to like, the big executives that are making a shit ton of money.
That's true, but the flip side of that is also the data, because it's like the marketing for other movies, clearly the money that they put in is working, right? And what you could say, the counter to that is, well, yes, we spent that $100 million on marketing to which you think could have been used as smaller films or new jobs or whatever it is. Right. But the amount of money we believe made that money we tripled or quadrupled our investment with the money that it made. And now the money that Avengers made worldwide, the $2 billion, whatever, now we can use that money to further new projects.
I mean, the real goal here is for Disney to never need money so bad that they don't have the open bar at the premiere after the thing. Because once it becomes a cash bar, it's like that time you're like at a wedding, you're like, what's going on?
Right. You're out.
We have to put ice cubes and warm
Chardonnay. They're also all right. Well,
Thanks, Dorina.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Well, I guess we got to go to break. Okay, we're gonna go to break, and boy, are we happy to go to break.
Good seeing you guys.
Yeah, Mark's gonna leave us.
It's been fun.
Thanks, Mark.
We lose San Francisco without
San Francisco tomorrow.
We lose a Mark Ellis, but we gain a Liam Cunningham. That is right. He's going to be in here to talk about his new show. The Hot Zone is going to be on National Geographic. We're going to talk about that when he gets in here. That's right. Sir Davos himself joins us after the break.
Hey guys, Reilly here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on Podcast One's Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Mailbag. A new episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well. Once again, it's every Saturday and Sunday on the Collider video feed, and also you can listen to us on podcast, on the Movie Talk podcast feed, every Saturday and Sunday.
Hey guys, it's Dennis here, one of the hosts of Thrones Talk, our weekly Game of Thrones review show that happens live right after the episodes drop on Sunday night. So check us out. We talk about all the cool things that happen on Game of Thrones that night and what we think is going to happen in the future. You can find it on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Collider Videos, or you can find it on the podcast feed, both on the Collider TV Talk podcast feed and the Collider Factory podcast feed.
Hi, I'm Coy Jandro, host of Collider Heroes, and I'm here to tell you we've got 20-minute episodes coming at you on Collider Video, on the YouTube, as you've always loved it. Plus, now we've got hour-long podcasts dropping every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast because it's going to get even more sweaty on the podcast. Plus, Every week, we're going to try to get some very special guest interviews, all of the people that help shape these movies and TV shows you love. So, video, podcast, interviews, all coming at you. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Stay sweaty.
Hey guys, Perry Nemrov here to let you know that The Witching Hour is all over Collider right now. You can listen to that Horrorville podcast with myself, with Haley Fouch. We talk about witchiness, we talk about slashers, we talk about space horror, you name it, all on that show on the Collider Factory feed. We also have clips on the Collider Podcast YouTube channel, and on top of that, you can find an article all about Witching Hour every single Tuesday on Collider.com. Check it out, get scared. Hopefully you survive the Witching Hour.
What's up, Collider fans? Ryan Satin here from ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find the top stories throughout the week in the world of professional wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan like myself, then you'd be doing yourself a disservice by not checking out all the shows we do every week on YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. In particular, on Wednesdays, we've got a SmackDown recap show hosted by John Roca and myself, where we pick apart and talk about every little thing that happened on the Blue Brand. So do yourself a favor and go subscribe at youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet.
If you want, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, on Collider Live, and premiering on Monday, May 27th. National Geographic, ladies and gentlemen, The Hot Zone. It is a 3-night event. And like I said, it's May 27th, 9 o'clock. It is a 6-episode limited series. And joining us today, we are so thrilled and excited, and we're geeking out, sir.
I'll soon put a stop to that.
Liam Cunningham, thank you so much for joining us, sir. How are you?
I'm very, very well. It's great to be back in beautiful Los Angeles.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So you've been here for a little bit now, just to kind of doing
since Tuesday. It's been a nightmare. I gave up the ghost there quite quickly, didn't I? The lies just didn't happen.
Is it just it's just overwhelming, just too much?
There's a lot of publicity going on, and obviously with the other show.
I'm sure. Are you doing something else?
Allegedly. Yeah. But I go back on Friday. I land on Saturday, and then I have a flight to Madrid on Monday to start a film on Wednesday.
Oh my God!
So I'm spreading myself quite thin.
Can you talk about that film yet or no?
Yeah, Freddie. You know the gorgeous Freddie Highmore?
Yeah,
the good doctor.
Of course.
We're doing a heist movie. We're robbing the Bank of Spain, me and him. And the mastermind. Couldn't you tell?
Yeah, absolutely.
With this serial killer head that I have.
Yeah, you're busy, man. You got all. Let's talk about this first. Let's talk about the Hot Zone. So tell us a little about. So for. Obviously, yesterday I had heard that we knew that we were getting you in here, and I'm a huge fan of yours, and knowing that we could talk about this new project, the fans were, well, what is it? What is the Hot Zone? Tell us a little bit about it.
So the Hot Zone comes originally from a book by Richard Preston, and it is absolutely so scary, the idea of this. Our story takes place in 1989.
Okay.
It flashes back to the mid-'70s. When this Ebola threat started showing its face, when it sort of came out of the jungle. And we all kind of have a little idea of what Ebola is like, but the first 10 or 15 minutes of our show, you get to see what it's really like. It's worse than your worst nightmare. It's just horrific. It's worse than the Night King.
Yeah.
So what we have, the scary thing is that our story is set in '89, but if you look at any of the news items now, the second largest outbreak of Ebola is happening today.
Yeah.
And if that thing gets on a plane, gets to a city, an area of population, and in our story, which actually happened, Ebola was 10 miles from the White House in '89. So it's not just over there. It's a plane ride away from being here.
I remember when this happened because I was in D.C. That's where I grew up. So I was still in D.C. in '89 when this happened in Reston, Virginia.
It's Reston. That's what the strain of Ebola is called.
I know Reston Town Center was considered like this rich area you could move to and have this happen. It was like mind blowing that this could come out of anywhere. Yeah. And it was such a simple thing how it came about because she's just a nurse and had this cut, and then all of a sudden all this spread out with her and her husband.
That's Nancy Jacks. That's the wonderful Juliana Margulies plays Colonel Nancy Jacks.
I got to watch the first couple episodes.
Me too.
And
The scene on the plane at the beginning, I'm never flying again. I'm
He's scared of everything.
I'm scared of
Imagine
everything.
for me, man. The amount of flying I do, when I hear a cough like 3 seats back, I immediately think, well, can we divert?
I know. Well, it's funny. We joke about that though too, but I can't even imagine because you go through all this and reading it and getting involved in it, and then something like that happens, just a sneeze. My wife has freaked me out about this type of washing the hands, doing it all.
You can go way over the top of this stuff. It's scary.
Do you find yourself going down that road since doing this?
Well, not so much because I'm lazy. Thank God I just can't get around it. Where's the hand sanitizer? What the hell? I don't care. I'll get AIDS. What can you do? You can get really scared. But here's the weird thing. But the odd OCD person comes up and you put out their hand. They go no, and they give it an elbow.
They give you the bump or the fist bump. Yeah.
I kind of understand that now. I used to think you need psychiatric help, but now I kind of think. Maybe they're right.
Right.
It's
So
kind
now,
of scary.
this show is on Nat Geo.
Yes.
So is the goal? I like Josh. I saw the first episode, and the first 15 minutes they really show in horrific detail what the virus does to a human being.
Yeah.
So is the show is it's not a documentary. Obviously, it's a thriller. So is the goal here to also show the science behind it and to bring
Very
awareness?
much so. You got it, Mon. I mean, when it was sent to me, and it was Nat Geo, and I don't know about you guys, but every dentist waiting room and doctors or whatever when you get that yellow bordered magazine and that well thumbed magazine. And I've got such a sense of wonder about the world, like most people. You see these beautiful tribes and this wonderful, fossils from here, and all this kind of stuff. And so when they approach, and I think they've got a sense where they've got a brief to inform and educate, and I think that's what this show is about. But if also it can be a very boring thing because it's test tubes and petri dishes, and it's boring scientists doing things very slowly. Yeah. That we've got to put it in a dramatic sense to get the information out there.
Because the overall narrative is that it's this actually happened. Right. Yes, it's a dramatization, but this actually happened and could happen. And as Liam is saying here, like it's happening now even more current, and this is scary because you see budgets being dropped all over the world for this to counter this kind of stuff, and you wonder if that cutting of the budget in all these different countries is going to eventually lead to one of these things,
where we don't want to be bitten.
And a lot of people aren't strong enough to fight this stuff off anymore because the new generations are washing their hands and doing all this kind of stuff. Our generation, the older generations, we've been conditioned or trained to fight off this stuff. Newer generations, as they become more and more unable to fight it because they're hiding behind sanitizers and everything else, it'll overtake them a lot quicker.
They haven't developed an immune system. Your immune system needs to be trained.
Exactly.
There's a measles outbreak going on.
It's here. Do you want to know what's really weird? Speaking of the measles outbreak, in Ireland, and I think they used to do it over here, when kids got measles, they used to have a measles party.
What's
I'm
that?
not even kidding you. When kids got measles, all the people in the community, the village, or even the school, they would go to the person's house and just sit and let the kids play together so they could get it. And because when you're young, if you get it, you develop an immunity to it. You're never going to get it again. But people, get vaccinated, people.
That's the truth.
Definitely get vaccinated.
You mentioned briefly, but can you tell us a little bit about your character inside of what's going on?
He's probably the world's leading expert on emerging diseases, or couldn't you tell looking at me?
I'd believe anything you say.
But he's been kind of ostracized and sidelined by the officialdom because he doesn't kind of play by the rules. He doesn't go through the years and years of research to confirm stuff. If he sees people strangely ill, he wants to shut things down and contain it, and he's more kind of interested in the human side of this, which, as we know, any scientist that comes out and puts his head above the parapet can get knocked over, because there's, and quite rightly, there's a huge process to get things done. However, in this case, because this is so virulent, in his opinion, it has to be done really quickly, and that upsets a lot of people.
A very important question. So I'm looking here at some of the cast, whether it's Noah Emmerich, Topher Grace. How many people were asking you spoilers of Game of Thrones during that show?
I don't sit with those people anymore. I don't know who you're referring to.
Why do you think
I've been here on my own? I'm looking around the hotel for them and I can't find them.
Because the show, obviously, Game of Thrones is such a phenomenon, and everything happening with that particular show. I do want to ask something outside of that realm, but it does concern Benioff and Weiss. This is something that I'm very interested in, and when it comes,
coming here.
He
set you up. He leads it up.
I'm a Star Wars guy. I'm a big Star Wars guy, and I'm convinced they're going to be playing in like 1,000 years before we know the events of like the original Star Wars.
Yeah.
They're going to be casting soon. And
what are you referring to?
I'm referring to, I think it would be a colossal error if they did not get you involved in Star Wars.
Well, my agent and accountant think that's the same as you. I haven't seen a script yet. As a friend of mine says, I couldn't possibly consider that role until I read the check.
Yeah. have you talked to those guys about Star Wars at all?
Here's how this happened.
Yes.
George Lucas, who's a big fan of the show,
right,
came to set and was invited over when we were doing the Battle of Winterfell. And I mentioned it to someone, and they'd already come out. David and Dan had already... Actually, it was before they said they were going to be involved in the Star Wars thing. So I think what people did was they Googled Lucas. Oh, Cunningham said Lucas. Why is he there? David and Dan have just said there. So all of a sudden they were putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with 59 million. Right. So apparently I've already been cast as Obi-Wan. And then I sat with Dan Weiss. We were having a drink together, and I said, look, here's a pitch. And he got, because he'd love that. And I said, here's an idea. Jar Binks. A trilogy. I said of a spin-off with me playing old Jar Binks.
I would watch that.
He said, leave that with me. I'll come back to you. and then he blocked me on the phone. I don't know why that was. He must be thinking hard.
He's an old Irish Gungan.
Are you interested in it at all? Would you?
I love science fiction. I absolutely love it. And you know, for who on this planet Star Wars wasn't an integral part of their growing up. And it's gorgeous because it's a western in the sky,
right?
And it's a glorious thing. It's like the western or the bank heist or these genre things are wonderful, and I love doing them if they're done properly.
Right.
Well, you were in Philip K. Dick's Electric Dreams.
Yeah, with
which
Bryan Cranston.
I'm a huge Blade Runner fan.
Yeah,
so,
me too. It's
so that
a huge part. 40 years ago now, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it came out
81, 82. Yeah.
It's set in
2019 this year.
2019.
Wow.
October. It's coming up.
We
in
still
October.
don't have those flying cars.
November.
Dick's got that wrong.
Just don't trust the robots. Just don't trust them.
Yeah.
What is it about with you? What is it about you and viruses? Like with dog soldiers, you played a werewolf.
That's right.
Yes.
And then you have you have this going on with this show you're doing now. Then you have White Walkers in Game of Thrones. Is it? Do you look for that in pieces that you go as an actor?
Well, when you're offered,
I need to see outbreaks.
When you're offered a werewolf role,
right.
I think of Lon Chaney. I think of a history of cinema.
Yeah.
And how often are you going to get the opportunity? You don't let it changing into a werewolf go by very quickly.
Yeah.
You want the scleral eyeballs and the silly teeth and all that sort of thing, and
should
roaring
see
at
you.
people. It's fantastic.
People should see you're so young in that, and you're turning and you're working with Alfred from Gotham, and you're working with Kevin McKidd from Rome in that whole thing. People don't give that
and
movie
Neil
enough
Marshall,
love.
who directed it, he has directed Westworld and Game of Thrones.
Right.
How did
He
you
did
get...
the Battle of Blackwater with me. It was
Right.
gorgeous to see him back.
Well, when it comes to Game of Thrones, had you read any of the books before you got it?
I still haven't read the book.
Still haven't read any of the book. But so was it
George keeps pulling me up over it. Anytime I see him at an event, I've seen him in Dublin. He's coming over for something in Dublin soon. But he'd come up to me and go, "You read them, Liam?" And I went, "No, George." and then I had to say, "Look, I'm stretching the truth slightly," but I said, "Look." If I get into the books, it'll be in my head for the script, which is a certain amount of truth to it.
Right.
The Bible for David and Dan is George's work. My Bible is David and Dan's, and Brian and Dave Hill's work. And I don't want to have other influences. And he said, I kind of get it. He said, as I'm writing along now, he said, your voices are in my head because he's been watching the show for obvious. So we've brought his creations to life, and I think there's a bit of bounce back from that, you know. So, I said when the show's over, I'll read the books. Have you seen them?
Yeah, no, they're huge. Well, the reason I asked that is when you went into it.
Bigger than my house.
Yeah. When you went into it, so you just kind of saw this fantasy, like, what the hell is this? How was it pitched to you? Like, by your agent?
I tried to shut down the phone call when my agent rang me up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she rang me up and said, look, there's this thing called Game of Thrones, which is, if you repeat it often enough, it's not the greatest title on the planet. I get it now when the story roll out, but as a tattoo, it's, it's, do you want it for life?
Oh, no.
When my agent rang me and said, look, there's this fantasy thing, that was immediately, the alarm bells went off. Dragons, shadow babies, and I said to my agent, let me stop you there.
Yeah.
And she went, no, wait, it's HBO, Sopranos, The Wire, blah, blah, blah. And I said, right, let me send it over. And I read it, and that's just a really expensive backdrop to what the story is. And as we all know, it's a story of power and legacy and family and paranoia and all those Shakespearean things. Mm-hmm. And I came in at the beginning of season 2. I had met them originally the year before, but when the scripts came through, they're incredibly written scripts. They're anybody that's worked on a movie knows that when you get the script, it's basically loosely based on the paperwork you're getting, and you get your different colours, and it's all. I have scripts at home. They're like a pride flag. There's, you know what I mean. There's so many colours. But on David and Dan's, there's virtually no changes from the time that we picked them up to what you see on the screen. Wow. They are that good. Wow. They're incredible. And for an actor, that's great because you're not trying to reassess or reaccess information in your head. What you've got is that, and that's your arc for that season. It's an absolute joy to do.
Well, we just had Betsy Brandon here the other day from Breaking Bad, and said something similar in the fact that these types of shows they come around once in a while.
That's it, man. They're hen's teeth, as they call it.
Right. And so you get a role like Davos, and then you find all these great shows and these projects that you're in. More opportunities are created because of this show, right? Yeah. What are some of the dream projects, the things that you do want to do? Like what? Because the crime heist seems awesome for you, by the way. Like the crime heist that you're doing. That to me, that sounds. This
there's a genre thing. There's absolutely nothing that I turn my nose up at as regards a genre or an idea. It's the implementation of that. I mean, to have this show, and we all know that fantasy is very much a niche thing. It's a Comic-Con thing. There's a community out there, but it's very selective, and and sometimes disrespected. As in like comedy is. It's not taken too seriously and blah blah. With this, that we've broke through and kind of went, this is a magnificent genre that you can paint so many different pictures with, and that's an achievement, and that's why I refuse to rule out any so-called genre, because there's good stories in every part of that thing.
And I guess it all depends on who's involved.
Who's in charge, who's involved,
writers,
it's the company you keep.
Is there a role out there that you didn't get that you think that was the one I really wish I would have?
Do you know how I get my head around, how my ego gets around this? If I'm going up for something that I want to do and they don't give me the role, they're the idiots. Because they didn't see. They missed an opportunity. Right. I don't have any self-esteem problems, by the way. I'm very comfortable in my skin.
Yeah. Especially when you land this role. Because this again, I'm telling a lot of people that you were coming on, that my friends, family, but coworkers, and you've just won the hearts and minds of a lot of people too, with the character and the way that you portrayed it. But
I feel like he represents the audience. He's kind of an everyman.
Absolutely.
That's why I kind of look at him. Is that when people when you're looking at it and I'm a fan as well. When these people are about to do this horrifically inhumane stuff, and Davos occasionally walks in and going, "What are you doing? How can you do that?" and tries to shame them. And I always felt like it was a mouthpiece for the audience into the show.
It's incredible how many. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, so when we announced that you were going to be on a show, the fans freaked out because you are
they
easily.
Must be really bored. They
must
Tell them to go to war.
Tell them to go to war.
No, but
tell them to clean a backyard.
But it's because you're a favorite character. You're one of the favorite characters out of for us for our viewers.
I'm gonna break some skulls if you don't make it through. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Who's your favorite character in the show, and then who's a favorite character that you've played as an actor?
That's a good question. One of my favorite characters in it was Tywin. Right, the dad of these big shot, full of themselves, incestuous couple, and Tyrion a drinker and a whoremonger or whatever. When he shows up, they turned into children, and not only that, there was Charles Dance who played him is such a wonderful actor. That I remember one of the first scenes he did. It may have been his first scene in it when Jamie goes into him, and he gives him a full speech about the importance of the legacy of the Lannister name, and that's everything we do is to make sure that thing. And he gives this huge speech while he's skinning a deer. Yeah, and you're just kind of going, man, that was so cheeky. A full-size stag deer. He's going, you need to take care of that. And I just kind of, man, that's cool. That's so cool. And I just watch it from there on, and he's just a treasure to watch. And of course, Dinklage is Tyrion. You can't. You know, he's got the best lines. He's got the. He has a great time on this.
When you say this is Jon Snow, it's the best moment in the show.
That was quite funny. We kind of threw that in. Yeah.
That's
at
awesome.
the time.
But
Can you throw me a look back here?
But just I want to remind the audience that Monday, May 27th, that the Hot Zone is going to be on National Geographic, and it is a 6-episode limited series. And this is, and I'll be honest with you, I'm more and more. I didn't know a lot about it coming into it, and hearing this, I know it's going to terrify me. There's no chance I'm letting my wife watch it. She gets, I was going to say she walks by a hospital and she just
she'll live on her own in a panic room.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what was that? There was a movie that not too long ago, like Matt Damon was in. Oh yeah, Contagion. Right? That was one that was similar too. But
Paltrow's greatest scream.
Yeah. So, are there any characters inside of this that are are they true characters that are all made? They're made up for this particular story.
No. There's some true. Obviously, Juliana's character is Colonel Nancy Jacks. She's met her the whole lot, and obviously Noah Emmerich, her husband.
Yeah.
The character that I play is an amalgam of people, and he kind of has to be, because various things that happen in the show happen to a few different people, and we can't have that many. We'll just lose the audience.
Yeah.
So basically, everything that happened, but we've kind of condensed it down into this Irish idiot who's playing Wade Carter. Yeah.
Do you think he'll survive?
What's that?
Do you think he'll survive the Hot Zone? And then
and not survive
Game of Thrones.
Do I think you're asking me?
Because the thing with Davos, the thing is, Liam went for another role.
Yeah.
Originally for Game of Thrones, didn't get it, and then got this role. And how ironic that you've survived for all these seasons. And I don't know if that other role, which you won't speak about, if that role died before
it's
you
not
did.
fair to the other actors.
So right, but I'm saying it's almost like a gift. Now, do we having followed you through almost 6 seasons now?
Yeah.
Are we seven? Right,
I started in the second one. Yeah.
Exactly. Are we going to have our hearts broken? We have 2
I
episodes.
told you I'm going to break skulls if he goes out, because
episodes.
there's no reason to kill him.
Self-harm.
There's no reason.
This is out of my power here.
There's no reason to, but that's another conversation when the man's not in the room.
Right.
But I
talk behind my back.
I want to ask a little bit more about you before we get out of here too, because so you like to so certain things after you're done with this and this whirlwind thing, you get back on a plane. Where is home?
Dublin. I live 2 hours from Westeros.
I'm not even kidding you. So where you guys shoot?
And there's another studio.
Easy.
We have a couple of places because the studio is in the Titanic studio where they built the Titanic.
Yeah.
But there's another studio in the Linen Mills. And that's 45 minutes from my front door, where I've lived for the last 30 years. I could have put on my Davos costume and drove my car up, and that would have been interesting. If the cops pulled me over, officer.
I'm curious about that too, because it's so different. Obviously, the culture in Los Angeles as opposed to say Dublin. Can you just live your life pretty easily in Dublin? People
there's a very healthy begrudgery in Ireland, which is I like it. They don't. There's a huge disrespect for success, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
They think if you're successful, you must have stabbed somebody or broken into their house and robbed their life savings.
So you get
Nobody
some
thinks
street
you've done
cred.
anything on merit. And I like that.
Well, how do you explain Conor McGregor then?
How
do you explain
he's
Conor?
an anomaly.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how long he's going to stay up there. He's teetering on the edge as we speak.
That's true.
Is that where you grew up?
Yeah, we're kind of actually McGregor and myself are kind of similar socio-economic backgrounds. He was one side of the river in Crumlin, I think he brought, and I grew on another very working class blue collar area on the other side of the river, but like 5 miles apart.
Yeah. Is that so? I mean, do you try the majority of the jobs you get to try to stay over on that side, or you take it where it comes?
I'm a little. Listen, I go where the good work is, and I occasionally I look at and the script is really good, but it looks a little exotic, and I'll ring the agent and go, "Where is this?" And I go, "In New Zealand." Oh yeah, that place that's 5 kilometers from the sun. Yeah, it's a tricky one. I don't like being away for that long. I've been really lucky. I'm a very lucky actor. I've been busy for most of my career, but I try and keep a kind of 3-week limit of being away from the family without seeing them for whatever weekend or stuff like that. After that, the dog goes for you when you go into the house. The dog tries to attack you
because you know who the hell you are.
You are anymore.
Yeah, well, that's why I think it's like a show like Game of Thrones gives you like a nice cushion.
That's
for
great.
a bit. Yeah.
It's the first cushion I've had in 30 years of acting. I've had all sorts of people chasing me to take my house off me, and taxmen, and
not anymore.
I've horror.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't know about not anymore. There's never not anymore. For the moment, he's happy. He's relaxed. relaxed.
Right. Go ahead.
Oh, can you talk about your experience just as an actor working on a big show, a big budget show, as opposed to like smaller budget shows or television or movies? Like, I'm sure there's pros and cons to both.
Yeah, there is indeed. There is. And the bigger you are, I mean, if you look at something like, some of the big, Avengers, any of the Marvel stuff, the amount of money it costs to make those, it's very important that they try and secure a return on that as much as possible. Everybody wants to make profit. In those particular, when you're outlaying 300, 400, 500 million, you really don't have the choice, the luxury of failure. So you tend to get things that are not edgy, not because they have to protect that investment. I get that. That's a business thing. When you've got something like Game of Thrones, when it started off, the budgets were much smaller than they are at the last. You can tell. The camera's further back and the lenses are wider. And there's a lot more people. And it's extraordinary to watch this thing develop. But at the beginning, the greatest luxury you can have is time. And the smaller the budgets, the more of a military campaign it has to be. This is on any project. You walk in and if you've got 5 weeks to shoot a movie, you better have that plan running. You better have done your rehearsals. There's no time to kind of sit around and twiddle your thumbs while people are working out what shot they want. It has to be down, and you can do it. It can be done. And these big things you're shooting sometimes 20, 30 seconds a day. On a smaller production, you could be shooting anything up to 4, 5, 6, 7, and sometimes 10 minutes a day. So it's very tricky. And again, for instance, good quality drama over here, if you're lucky, if you've got a bit of luxury, you can have 11 days. It's normally 8, but you can have 11 days to shoot an hour of quality drama. The Long Night, the Battle of Winterfell, we did 55 nights of shooting in cold, wet, damp vileness. And that was the crew. That wasn't just, the actors were in and out. Obviously, it's not an ensemble piece, but the crew were just so heroic.
But isn't that...
That was 11 weeks for that episode.
And isn't that because the trust is there with those guys?
Faith is there.
Right.
Give them the time, give them the money. And I have to say, for HBO, they basically threw the kitchen sink and everything at this and went, we're not walking away from this unless we've given it our best shot.
Love that.
And the check was about 20 feet long. I'm saying there was that many zeros on it.
Yeah.
For this last season.
What's the coffee cup situation in Westeros like?
Oh yeah, what was all that like for you guys?
It's really weird. I thought somebody had photoshopped it in. And was just
me
looking
too.
Good. I was really convinced, and then people started saying, and then somebody came out and admitted it was a mistake. But listen, you saw that episode. There was so many people going back and forth, and that would have been in one take for 2 seconds, I believe. It was in a shot. And I think they held it. It slipped through the net. They're really up against it to try and get everything done in this, the post-production, the music, the editing, the CGI, the whole lot. They were right down to the wire to get this thing out done. So we can forgive them for that.
Of course.
It's so funny. Someone had said that someone paid Starbucks paid a PA to put the
Fuji water girl.
Yeah.
We should have photographed.
Should have been her. But, I want to ask as far as entertainment goes, because you said when you're home, obviously you want to spend time with the family. But are you more of are you a book guy, you're a TV guy, you're a film guy? What's more your?
I read a book once. It was green. No, I'm a TV. Chef's Table.
Chef's Table.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Makes it.
My buddy.
Chef's Table. Yeah. I've had a bit of fun in one of those. Actually, here's a small tidbit you probably won't know. Our guys went to the best restaurant in the world, which is the Rocker Brothers. You know, the three brothers, the dessert guy. And he came out when they finished dinner, and it's in the title sequence of Chef's Table. If you look closely, it's not in the show, but it's in the title sequence. Is Jamie Lannister's gold hand.
Get out of here.
The guys in the dessert, in the best restaurant in the world for 2 years in a row, the dessert guy made Jamie Lannister's hand.
That's awesome.
They were filming in the region, and he just brought it out in front of everybody.
That's so
It was so sweet.
Yeah,
It was
my buddy,
really lovely. He invented that dessert just for
awesome.
them.
Yeah, my buddy Andrew Freed produces that show, and he's going to be very happy to know that you
Oh,
love that show.
my son watched it. The Buddhist monk, that lady. Have you watched that?
Awesome.
Oh my God, that woman is just a I
show is just
I felt
mesmerizing.
cleansed after I watched her. She's amazing, that lady.
Yeah.
So it's with television. We talk about this all the time with streaming and all these different shows that, like an HBO, Showtime, that can put so much more kind of cinematic feel into television. Is that somewhere that you want to play around a lot more as television, or again, it's the same question? It's just the material.
Listen, I've done great things that were made in 3 weeks. I've done terrible things that took a year to make. You try and aim for the best. We're storytellers, and it's very easy to get caught up in the business side of things. What can this do with my career? They're paying more money.
Right.
I'm working with somebody good, and what you got to do is try and push away the glitz and the glamour, because you're going to be sitting in a hotel room on your own at night trying to learn these big speeches for a following day or whatever. And if you don't like it, you're going to get pissed off with yourself for making that choice. And it's very simple. I make a decision on, can I look in the mirror at myself after it's done? And I haven't. I've tried not to sell out, which is why you haven't heard from me for about 25 years of my career, because I was doing small stuff and all that, and you just kind of wait. And strangely enough, the guys had seen a movie I did with Steve McQueen, the director, wonderful director. I did his first movie, a movie called Hunger,
of course,
with Michael Fassbender, and that's what the guys. I think that's what David and Dan saw. They saw this incredible, really low budget movie that I did and brought me in. So you don't know where it's got to come from, but if you try and stick to quality, hopefully, if you get a bit of luck, it'll come back and reward you.
Well, I'm glad that we have heard of you, sir, because it's been a pleasure to watch you on the show, and I'm very excited to watch you in the hot zone once again. Memorial Day, everybody, Memorial Day weekend, Monday, May 27th, 9:00. The great Liam Cunningham here to talk about that show and to talk everything else, and cannot wait to see you in Star Wars. All right, so all right, everybody, when we get back from the break, we got a couple phone calls from you guys. Collider Live.
Hey guys, Perry here to let you know about the new edition of Collider Movie Talk. We are going to 5 days a week. We have a short, sweet 20-minute show where we focus on the 2 biggest stories of the day. You can expect to see all of your favorite Collider personalities on the show, including Jeff Snyder, John Roca, Haley Fouch. You're getting Josh Macuga every Friday. We're going to have a blast. It's going to be informative, fun. Come join us, 3 p.m. PT Live every single day of the week, right here on the Collider Video YouTube channel. You can also find the show on the Collider Movie Talk feed on our podcast network, so go watch, go listen, however you prefer to get all of your movie news.
Hi, I'm Amy Dallin, one of the hosts of Collider Heroes, and starting right now, you can catch our show at a new time and format. We're coming at you Tuesday nights with a new shorter Collider Heroes and a longer Collider Heroes podcast, where Coy and I are gonna talk your ears off. You already know that's coming. So make sure to go to YouTube, subscribe, and find us on the Collider Heroes podcast feed for all of that sweaty goodness.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Sports Time. Well, if you've been watching us every week, we break down the latest and the greatest in the world of sports, talk about the big issues, the big games, all of it with a rotating band of guests like Matt Nose and Josh Macuga. We've had Taylor Bisciotti on. We've had so many great guests. Now, if you want to see more of Sports Time or you want to try it out for the first time, remember to subscribe to Collider Sports YouTube channel. And if you want to take us along with you in your ears, you can go and subscribe to the Collider Sports podcast feed for all the sports goodness.
Hey guys, it's Reilly here. Let me tell you about the Reilly Roundtable. You know it, right? It drops every Thursday on Collider Conversations, and I have guests from all across the space. John Roca, Gray Drake, Alexander Desplat came on at one point. We talk everything from movies, we talk about life, and everything in between. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? It's the Reilly Roundtable every Thursday on Collider Conversations. You get it there.
Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm Kristian Harloff. I'm the host of Collider Jedi Council. We talk about everything Star Wars, and if you want to catch our weekly show where we talk about the latest and greatest in Star Wars, it's movie news, it's canon, it's all of it. We take questions from you guys. How do you do it? Main channel, that's right here. Subscribe to this channel, and you can listen, you can watch, you can do all of it, but if you want to just listen to it, you got the podcast feed too. Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, you can listen to it in your car. Do all of it. It's Star Wars. Episode 9's coming out, and then after Episode 9, you got TV shows, so we're going to be your sports center for Star Wars. Do it. Come on. Be real. I got to tell you what. I got to tell you something. For much balls we break for Mark Reilly not cutting his nails.
Mark Ellis, brutal.
Well, no, yeah, sure. But
Did you see his nails today? Oh my God.
No, that's not what I was going at. But we can get back to that in a second. What a guest that you got on the show. What a guest.
I'm a proud producer right now of you guys.
Yes, you should be.
That was a fantastic interview. I was glued to my screen. That's awesome. Watching, just smiling. He was fantastic.
He was so cool. He's just cool.
He's just so cool. When I went in to meet him and get him in here, he was just like so warm. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I was like, "Fine."
Because he's just a nice human.
And he's so
guy.
talented.
Yes, and you could see why they cast him as Donald.
Of course.
I mean, you see right away, and and you could also tell. The guy, he's just a dude that wants to live in Dublin. Yeah, he just wants to live his life, and it's just like, yeah, I'll do the press, and he comes in and does it, but he just wants to be home, and I understand.
Do you relate to that so
much? We are
much?
cut from the same cloth, and I get it, and man, I'm so happy that we had the opportunity to sit down and talk with him, and I'll tell you what was really smart by Nat Geo is sending him out to do the publicity.
Yes, no dummies.
Right before the show.
Yeah, and nothing against Topher Grace. I like Topher Grace a lot.
He's not in Game of Thrones.
No, but all great actors,
He's
right?
not.
But he's, right now with the heat of this show, it's very similar. We were talking about it's just marketing in general, right? And when you got a guy like that, who is personable, who is nice, who is open, who is on the hottest show on television. It's like that's why they tell you at the top. It's like don't go too much on Game of Thrones because they want to talk about the show. But because of that and the way that he talks about the show, guess who's watching the show now? Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm going to go watch that show
That's
because
how
of
you
him.
grab the audience
That's
to
how
watch
you do
your
it.
new shows.
Yeah, man, it's very smart.
It's that role of a lifetime opportunity that lightning strikes. Whatever Winston Churchill said, luck is opportunity meets preparation. Whatever is the fact that what he said. He's like, this is why you haven't heard of me for 25 years is because he's been working consistently. Either in Ireland or England or States, wherever the fact, and then this role comes along of Sir Davos Seaworth, and he is put into this situation and knocks it out of the park because he's preparing his whole life to be this man and the most lovable guy in Westeros, the best dude on the show. He's been my favorite character since they killed the little girl, and he tragically sawed. You know what I mean? That emotional breakdown of a man, and I wasn't just blowing smoke up his ass. My favorite line in Game of Thrones is when he goes, "This is Jon Snow." It's amazing. It's an amazing scene, and he is an incredible actor, and what he has done in that role, because that could have been such a throwaway role. Everybody is saying after the Battle of Winterfell, why isn't Sam dead? Because people don't people like Sam, but he's not Sir Davos.
Right, he's not Sir Davos.
He's not Sir Davos.
No, and even the really famous characters, like people that don't watch the show, like they've heard about it, Jon Snow, they heard the name Daenerys, like they haven't heard the name Sir Davos, but like he's the coolest character, like maybe other than Tyrion.
That's the funny thing though with the go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Because like, when you say Sir Davos to some people, when I tell Sir Davos, and that, I mean the hardcore fans get it right away when you go Sir Davos. Which one? And I go, oh, I love him. When you show a picture. Yeah. But it was really cool to have him. I assume the fans were loving it.
They loved it.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not? I mean, he's just something else. I want to take that whole. I think we'll take bits and pieces of the interview itself, but maybe even put the full interview like on the podcast channel as well.
We need to.
Or not even the podcast channel, the Collider Live channel.
It's the Collider Live channel now.
It kind of goes to the fact, and this isn't, I'm taking nothing away from Liam or Sir Davos or anything, but as soon as an Irishman opens up his mouth and starts talking, I am immediately transfixed. Yeah. Or a person from Scotland like Wee Claire.
You know that you when you didn't realize that you did this, and I was going to call you out because it wasn't on air, but he goes, hey, how are you? And you go, fine, how are you?
Did I do that?
You did it right back to
I
us.
always do that.
To be sure,
I
I'm
do
fake.
that. I swear to God, we'll be with people, and Amanda's like, and they'll start talking, and Amanda goes, "Don't imitate that." It just happens.
He did it.
I'm an idiot.
He's like, "How are you?" You go, "Good. How are you?" And I'm like, "What is he doing?"
A wee bit tired today, but hanging in
How
there.
about Roka though? How about Roka? Yeah, back when you were young.
Yeah, really threw him under the bus.
What are you
He's
doing?
used to it though, because people call him out.
That's true. Roka's 87 years old.
Yeah, he just looks really good.
Yeah, but it was that was a lot of fun, man. I had a blast. We have some great guests coming up, man. We got.
Yeah.
I mean, and we've tried not to do this because sometimes you say someone's coming on and then they cancel. His co-star Topher Grace. But we've got Ralph Macchio supposed to be coming on. What's that in the next couple of weeks?
I'm gonna
next
come
couple weeks. Yeah,
even if it's
in
Monday
June
through Wednesday,
actually.
I'm just
Sorry.
gonna-
Oh, it's in June. Okay.
June.
Oh, that's
So we got that. We have him coming out. We still got Dane Cook or no?
Dane Cook, yeah.
We got Dane Cook coming out. There's some cool guests coming on Collider Live, man. This
Can
is
you guys just stare at each other when he comes?
For 30 minutes?
You don't think we look alike?
Yeah, I mean,
You just hear that from the
There's a
audience.
resemblance.
I think there's a
but that's it.
resemblance.
When we were younger, I would say. I don't think anymore.
Not anymore. I don't know what he looks like now.
I never thought you did, to be honest with you. The first time you were like, "Who do I look like?" I was like, "I don't know."
Yeah.
And same thing with Ellis when he was like, "Who do I look like?" I'm like, "I got nothing."
Topher Grace.
See, I think
I know, like say Topher Grace, but like it's
Yeah, I
sort
get
of.
Topher Grace.
Yeah.
So when we were younger, we definitely did. There was, and when I'm looking at like
When you
27,
showed me
28,
the video with you with the beanie, that's when I saw Ding.
Oh, right. Exactly.
And it was, I told you, like even I goofed on it because I couldn't. Because the problem was we were running in the same circles for so long and stand up and I didn't want to be. I wanted to be my own person. Because when I remember before he blew up, Boston Comedy Club in New York. Strange enough, I remember this was 2000 or maybe earlier than that. No, 2000. And I remember going up on stage. No, that's a damn lie. It was like 99, 98, 99. And I remember going up there and the guy who actually created that. What's that show on ABC now? The one that's like This Is Us.
Goldberg? Oh, Million Little Things.
The guy who created DJ Nash.
Nash
was hosting it, and he said to me, he's like, you remind me of this guy who performs all the time. I go, it's the first time I ever heard it. He goes, this guy Dane Cook. I've never heard of him.
Yeah.
And then I kept getting it. But even when I saw Dane at the Rogue One premiere, and I say, yeah, people say we look like each other, and he goes, yeah, I don't see it. I go, neither do I. And we took a picture.
Who else do you have coming on? Can you spoil?
I'd have to look at the calendar. I'm trying to think.
We got a lot.
Washington.
That would be good.
I'm working on it.
It would be good. But we have a lot of cool guests, and because of the amount of guests that we've been getting on, I think more and more people are seeing. The publicists obviously are seeing that we're getting these guests, and we're getting more guests.
Yeah.
So
it's like people still like our stupid show, so bring on more guests.
Well, these guests are having fun.
Yes.
They really are.
But that's why
I get it from the publicist.
That's why I like shows like this. So I mean, as much as I think entertainment journalists, like their job is hard, and when you guys interview people in a serious setting, it's hard and it's hard work, and I respect it. But I like the conversational aspect much better because it just loosens them up. They don't, you know what I mean?
That's
They're
what Betsy Brand
themselves.
said. That's what when Betsy was sitting there, she's like, "Oh, this is." She's like, "I almost forget that I'm in an interview because I'm just talking."
Exactly.
That just makes it more fun. It's like you just want to have a conversation.
I want
with
to see
somebody.
humans. I don't want to see robots.
Right, because and it also, but because when you're in a junket thing and you come in there for 3 minutes, you just got to be like, okay, they're going to ask me this. I'm sitting here though, and now I'm done. Who's next? You don't get a chance to just, and like he said, he's been traveling all over. It's like he just gets to sit down and have a conversation.
I love that he hates LA too. He's like, lovely Los Angeles, man. It's a fucking brutal.
Because he's just a normal dude.
I just love honesty. Like that.
He's
It's
just a
great.
normal dude. He was awesome.
He was on Rich Eisen yesterday, and I was like, oh man, I love Sir Davos. I'm thinking to myself, man, it'd be great to get him on Collider Live.
Oh, you didn't
And
know?
No idea. And
That's
then Reilly
funny.
says at the end of the show, and I was like, I just pooped my pants.
It came together really fast, so that's why it happened.
I know, because you said to me, you're like, yeah, didn't you know? And I'm like, no.
I had mentioned it. That we were weird. It was like weeks ago where it was floated to us, and then we went yes, and then and that's kind of when I mentioned maybe it was in passing, and then didn't hear anything, and then boom, we hear it.
And to be fair, sometimes Reilly does tell you stuff and you always forget.
That's not untrue.
This is true.
Yeah, that's
This
not
is
untrue.
true. Yeah.
That's not untrue. But I don't think I would forget that one though. But that's not.
You
Liam,
got a lot of shit going on.
Because I said, the name, and you're like, huh? And it's Sir Davos. Oh, yeah, if we can get him. That was the conversation we had.
No, that's probably true. Yeah. All right, moving on. We are going to definitely get to the fans because we want to hear what they thought of Liam Cunningham, and we also the interview itself and some other things that we got going on, some questions and thoughts and all that shit. So let's.
We had to work in the Star Wars thing too. That was really good, man.
I wasn't going to allow myself to do what I did with
Rami Malek.
No, not Rami Malek. We didn't have Rami Malek.
Ewan Rayon.
Yeah, there you go. When we had him on, because that really Fernandez made me feel bad for it, and as he should have.
Right.
But I was like, there's no chance that I'm not going to ask him.
That's 2 Game of Thrones characters we've had on the show.
Is it only 2?
Ewan Rayon and Sir
good
Davos.
ones.
Have you been
Really good
practicing?
ones.
Ewan
We had
Rayon.
really good ones. We got to. I mean, Kit Harington is my get. I want to get.
Really?
I want to get Kit Harington.
My favorite. I mean, other than Liam, is
Sansa?
Dinklage.
Who?
Peter
Oh,
Dinklage.
of course.
He's amazing.
Of course.
He's like so
any of those guys would be great, but I think Kit Harington's going to have a pretty long career. I think he's going to be around for a while. You don't like Jon Snow, huh?
I don't. I like the actor.
Yeah.
I mean, just he's fine. Jon Snow's fine.
He's
He's
great.
just not. Honestly, like all of the main characters on the show, their storylines to me have become a little bit like kind of more 2-dimensional. and soap opera-y, but like the side characters are what I enjoy the most out of that show. And Tyrion,
I
obviously.
love that show right now. I think it's firing in all cylinders.
We talked about it, but I think via text on this weekend. But like how just Saturday Night Live is what it is.
Stinks.
But yeah, but Jon Snow's episode, he did a pretty good job in a couple of sketches.
I just saw the video game one, which I liked. Yeah,
video
I think
game
he's
one.
good.
And his opening monologue was actually pretty entertaining. It was good. Yeah, he's a good actor.
Yeah.
Because we really haven't seen him in anything besides.
He's been in some stuff. He was in a romantic drama that my wife was watching recently that I thought he was really good in. But he was in, you know what he was in? That stupid movie. Oh, there's two stupid movies. But he was in the one Pompeii. Right?
Yeah, Pompeii.
He was great in Pompeii. The movie is garbage.
Yeah, it's not very good.
But he was in.
How to Train Your Dragon.
What is he in that?
He's a voice.
I'm sure, but he wasn't the dragon. But he was He was in Seventh Son, right? And that movie is a pile of garbage. But the guy who's the main kid in that? Ben what? Ben
Foster?
No, it's not. Ben Barnes, and who from Narnia and everything. He was the lead, and so
Westworld.
In that movie,
Westworld's the worst.
in the beginning of it, Kit Harington is like the apprentice, and he winds up like dying in the first like 5-10 minutes, right? And then Ben Barnes takes over, and it's like you should have reversed that. You should. Barnes should have been the one that craps out in the first 5 minutes, and then you give Kit Harington the movie. You got a better movie.
It'll be interesting to see, because Game of Thrones is kind of like, Star Wars, that it's become this huge cultural phenomenon. It'll be interesting to see where all the actors end up, including Kit and Sansa and all those people.
Right. Amelia Clarke, and she's been doing some stuff outside too. But yeah, you're right. Like what happens to them after the season finale and series finale, and that's why I think that Benioff Weiss thing. That's 3 movies. Yeah, that's 3 movies that they're gonna. Here's one thing. So a lot of these characters are going to show up in Star Wars one way or another. Whether it is in this Benioff and Weiss trilogy that I believe is coming out in 2022, 2024, 2026.
When we're all dead.
Right. Or I'm not surprised you say that. Or Mandalorian season 1, season 2. They could fit in there. Or Cassian Andor because of the streaming services. So I think we're going to see a lot more of these actors now that they're available popping up in Star Wars stuff and in Marvel stuff too.
Game of Thrones has become that, like, all the actors talk about got to get a war movie, got to get a war movie, got to get a, because they get after you're in a war movie, you got Vin Diesel. A lot of those people from like Saving Private Ryan made a career out of it, all that kind of stuff. Game of Thrones has become that war film. Yeah, where it's like, oh yeah, from Game of Thrones, put them in.
It's like in extras where like if you're in a Holocaust movie, you get an Oscar.
Is this the entire cast for Game of Thrones?
That's the entire cast of Game of Thrones.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, we got Aquaman now. I mean, come on.
Yeah. There's going to be tons of. I mean, Maisie Williams, because she's become a lot of people's favorite character, right? She'll pop up and stuff.
I want Sansa and everything.
Arya is a badass.
Yeah, Arya is. Well, Sansa is being.
I know.
She is. Dark Phoenix.
And Maisie's in New Mutants, and that's coming out soon.
We'll never see that. We'll never. And I hope that for her sake,
she grew like 5 feet since she shot that thing.
Are they going to call it Old Mutant?
Yeah,
I think we don't ever see that movie. I don't think we ever see. No, I don't want to.
I really want to see.
That's what I said yesterday.
Shit, you don't want to see it.
Well, I've seen shit movies. I can see it.
I know. I don't think you want to. I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to ruin it. I think we just, and especially.
I think that it's a horror X-Men movie and it's a good cast. I want to see that movie.
Yeah, I want to see it too. But I said the same thing yesterday to Snyder, and he goes, you don't think it was just dated? And I go, how many times has it been dated? It's going to disappear. I feel like. Yeah. Or they dump it on.
Maybe
Hulu.
Avatar will disappear too. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I wish.
It ain't going anywhere. All right, let's take some phone calls. Cody, let me know when you got a phone call, and we'll take some calls. Thank you so much. All right, hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
Hey, this is Brad Whipple from Syracuse, New York.
Hello, Brad.
Hi, Brad.
Brad, what did you think about
how's it going,
the interview with Mr. Cunningham?
I only caught the last of it because I just got back from work, but I'm excited to watch the rest of it just here shortly. So.
He's a baller, man. You'll have a good time with him. He's a good guy. So,
I'm so glad you guys brought up the Starbucks cup, though. That was great.
Yeah, well, Macuga, good pull on that one.
Good one.
Good pull on that. So we should piece that out and say Sir Davos talks about the Starbucks cup. That's amazing. Yeah. Okay, so what do you got for us today? Anything you want to bring up, talk about, vent?
Yeah, just want to say I've been listening to you guys forever, so really glad I finally got on. Kristian, when are the Schmoedown tickets going on sale for New York, I'm wondering? And also, in terms of Indiana Jones on the schedule, do you guys think that could be like maybe a Disney Plus series after the next movie comes out potentially?
Great question on both. I'll start with the New York tickets. Will go. I think they'll probably go online. If I was to guess, on May 18th is what I would say. Right, probably the same time the Schmoedown. So I would tell you to watch if you can the live stream of Guy versus Bateman, because New York sold out in 2 days last time. So New York might go pretty quick. So what I would say is if you're watching the live stream, wait for an announcement, because as soon as that announcement comes out, tickets will go on sale. And
do we have a date? Did you say a date yet?
August 31st.
Okay.
You out of town or something?
No, I'm actually in town, which is great.
So that's question number one. Question number two, I love the idea. This goes back to how I envision Indiana Jones and how I hope it goes, is that you have a majority of the movie be Harrison Ford and then cast someone to be a younger Indiana Jones, because then they can do your idea there and put it as a Disney Plus series with a new Indiana Jones. I don't think they're going to do that, though. I think we get a one and done with this movie. Maybe a second one, but
I'd rather see like a young Indiana Jones Chronicle style show,
like the Sean Patrick Flaherty one.
Yeah, than a new movie, personally.
Yeah.
I kind of am with Dorina on this one. If you recast Indiana Jones and you call him Indiana Jones, I don't want to see that. It could be cool if it was his son or if it was a protege or something like that. But I don't really want to see another thing called Indiana Jones with another person. It didn't work with Han Solo for a lot of people, and that's because there is only one Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Well, I'll push back on that a little bit. I think that, and this is nothing against Alden as an actor. I think he's a good actor. I agree. I think he was the wrong choice. I think you could have found someone to embody what Harrison Ford did.
I don't think you could.
Okay, I think you could, and I think that you could have, because the thing was that with that particular casting, it was a different. It just was a different character. I don't think the performance of Alden was a bad performance.
No,
it wasn't. It was a good performance. He was just a different character, and not one time did I watch that movie and say that's Indiana Jones. Now, is it easy to find someone that can embody it? No. But there are ways, because the same thing could have been said for, you're never going to find anybody who could play James Bond ever again, and they did it many different times. But you can do it, like the guy that embodied what not Indiana Jones, Han Solo did was what's that guy?
Alden Ehrenreich.
Not Alden Ehrenreich.
Donald Glover.
Not Donald Glover. You know what I'm talking about? Our boy Anthony and Gruber.
Yes.
Anthony and Gruber. But the problem was, is he channeling Harrison Ford, or is he just doing impression?
Correct.
So hard to get cast, because I thought he did a good job in Age of Adeline.
Yeah.
I think he did a really good job. But once again, can you do that for 2 hours? It's not an easy task. But if you do that for Indiana Jones and you find someone that can take on the quips, the personalities, it's possible, but it's not easy.
Agreed.
I mean, like Donald Glover, I thought did a good job as Lando, but I think it's not. I'm not saying it's easy, but it is easier to embody, somebody that's not in the movie a lot. Like Han is a super well-known character that is it's just too hard.
There's
I'm
more
trying
layers.
I'm trying to think of anybody that's been recast that people loved. Like, because James Bond is different, right? You already have. It's just like Batman.
The first,
right?
but that was not the
After
first
Sean
time.
Connery,
Not the
it was
first
like,
time. The
yeah.
first.
Right.
I mean, now yes, because we've accepted it. But the first time.
But how long have we lived with Han compared to how many James Bonds have they?
I mean, how many Sean Connery James Bonds did they do?
4, I think.
There was like 4. So that's a lot of movies.
Yeah, and then he took a break a little bit.
Yeah.
Lazenby comes in.
Then Sean Connery came back,
And then
right?
Sean Connery comes back.
Right.
And yeah.
And
I wonder how many did.
And you know what's crazy too is I feel like a lot of people say that Harrison Ford isn't a good actor. Like, that's a legitimate thing. People have said, I've heard a lot of people say it, like older people, whatever. And I personally think that his performance as Han Solo and his performance as Indiana Jones could have gotten so mangled together. It's like he's just doing Han Solo as Indiana Jones. 2 very different characters, 2 very different performances, and 2 like very well done different people.
I do think
also,
that he was.
He's, as much as you guys or some people don't like my favorite movie, he's really good in Blade Runner. Like he's not. The movie's not about him, but he's like sad and depressed.
I think he's
and
good in both
messed
of
up.
them. I think he's good in both of them.
Yeah.
And I think that he's tuned in a little bit more in his older years in the last couple of movies, and he was starting to tune out a little bit. And he was
that Brendan Fraser movie.
Dude, I honestly think, and people push back on this, I think he was terrible in Crystal Skull.
Yeah,
I think he was phoning it in.
Totally. It's not his fault.
It's no.
The movie
that movie is not his fault at all.
Like Blanchett is amazing.
But he is not Indiana Jones. He is Harrison Ford. The same way Bruce Willis was Bruce Willis in the last Die Hard movie. When those Russians pop into that car and he's just like, and they're looking around like, oh, wait for him to say something. and it hits him. He just wasn't tuned into it, but I think he was tuned in as Han Solo in the last movie. He was tuned in Blade Runner, and I hope he's tuned in for the next Indiana Jones.
I feel like that's the do-over of Crystal Skull. They're trying to get it right.
Yeah.
But I never knew how they got together and got Crystal Skull and signed off on it.
This is Brett right now. Yeah,
That's hysterical.
It's really funny. He's got the little
radio listeners at home. He's wearing a purple and pink,
Breaking Bad
black
mask.
and pink, Breaking Bad gas mask.
Let's do
Breaking
one more
Bad.
call and then we'll call it a day. So Cody, let us know when you have a phone call, and our friends from Boston will tell us, I guess. Right now, Derek. Sorry. Anything else going on in there?
No, not
No?
really. Just a lot of comments on Davos.
They love him.
Yeah, they just love him and how great it is. Yeah, and there's no question prompt anymore on Collider Live Facebook
They stopped
page.
doing it.
I'm wondering where it is.
All right,
Did you
well-
guys see the Watchmen trailer? Did
We
you guys already talk about that?
No, and we should. Well, let's do this call quick, and then with a good call. All right, hey, you are on Collider Live. Who do we have?
Hi, this is Max from Canandaigua, New York.
Hello, Max.
Hi.
A lot of New Yorkers coming in. Max, what do you? First of all, did you get a chance to see the interview?
Yes, he was very entertaining.
Wasn't he awesome?
He was great.
He was
Very
great.
fascinating guest.
Yeah. All right. So what do you got for us today?
I have a question for you, Kristian.
Sure.
Do you know who Marvel has hired to direct the upcoming Eternals movie?
I don't. Do it.
It's Chloe Zhao who directed The Rider.
Oh yes, the Rider. Right.
Top 10 favorite movies.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. You know, I did know that. Go ahead.
And that was a much smaller, personal, independent film, deep character study. My question is, do you think that director can bring that filmmaking style over to this film, this Marvel film, and do you think this makes you more excited?
Well, she got the job, didn't she? So I mean, I
If
think
they let her, right?
Yeah, if they let her. But that's always the big question. The question, because I throw the Russos at you, who came from television, smaller things. It's granted, television still is big, but not as big as these big blockbuster films. And there's a lot of people who have done smaller films and transferred over to big and done great.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
shit,
who
man.
did what's Kubo guy that did Bumblebee?
Travis Knight.
Yeah.
Right, even the movie didn't do as much as they wanted to. It was still a phenomenal movie. It did very well. Now, you're either going to, exactly what Dorina said, what will the studio do? Will they allow her to have her vision and let her do her thing? Or will she need guidance and will they have to come in there and step in? Or will they Gavin Hood her? And meaning Gavin Hood made Gavin Hood made a great movie with Satsi, and then he comes in and does Wolverine Origins, and they just bulldoze him. They
Right.
just bulldoze him. But
They deadpooled him.
yeah, they did
In a bad way.
in so many ways. So and it ruined it really hurt his career because that movie Satsi is incredible. So it just depends. You never know what you're going to get and how she's going to vibe with these execs. But I think that when it comes to the MCU, they hire people that they trust. Because remember, they were going to hire Adam McKay to come on and do Ant-Man, right? He's gone on to do some pretty.
And Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright, yeah, but Edgar Wright was a different. The MCU wasn't the way it was, and that's why they split. And I think that both parties should be admired for that, the whole thing, because Edgar Wright knew that he was no longer doing the movie that he signed on to do anymore, and said, "I don't want to do this." And Marvel said, "We just can't let you do that because we're going on a different direction right now."
I would love to see him direct a superhero movie though, because I love Scott Pilgrim. I mean, I love all of Edgar Wright, but Scott Pilgrim is so good and
I want to see him
underrated.
I want to see him do his own movie, his own superhero movie.
Me too. Yes,
like
exactly.
something like that he just makes up on his own. All right, well, thank you so much for the phone call. We do have to get out, but before we do, let's talk real quick about the trailer for Watchmen. Now, I didn't know what to expect with this trailer. Because I didn't know if it was a reboot. I didn't know if it was a sequel. I didn't know what it was. And the first question I had was, is Rorschach going to be in it? And then they show you 87 Rorschachs
Right.
throughout the whole thing. It looks creepy. It looks weird. I know nothing about it
Me
still.
neither.
But it is a minute and a half of nice, creepy images with actors I like. I'm on board.
Yeah, I mean, I love this comic book.
What is it about?
What?
What is it?
Watchmen?
Yes.
You didn't see that movie?
No.
Why not?
You should watch the director's cut.
I tried to get through the
of-
first 10 minutes of that movie and I turned it off.
You should watch
immediately.
the Snyder cut. You should watch the director's cut.
I could not get through that movie.
Well, no, watch the director's cut.
It's really good.
It's so good. It's beautifully. It's so artistic. I
It's
really
Zack
like
Snyder?
it. Yes. It's really good.
See, that
I
movie
like it.
grew
But-
on me because I knew the comic so well, and then the first time I saw it, I was like, and then the director's cut. I'm like, this
I asked
keeps
Perry if she
getting
could
better.
bring me the comic in because I would like to read it before because I can't. I'm not going to sit through that atrocity of a movie.
It's not an
I tried to
atrocity.
watch it 3 times.
Couldn't do it.
Could
The
not do it.
beginning
So you're not on
itself
board with
is
it.
fucking gorgeous.
What about the
It's
trailer?
not.
What about the trailer for the television show?
Very confused.
Very
I have no
confused.
idea what
Well,
it is.
the thing is, I mean, spoilers. Rorschach is dead, right? And
Mhm.
so it seems like there's this like kind of cult following of these, at least from what I got from the trailer, of like all these people like kind of becoming, I don't know, anarchists, or I don't know what they're doing, but they're following Rorschach's like ideals or ideology.
And again, I don't know
then-
what Rorschach is.
Oh,
he was the character that's all the mask.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He-
So they're all like kind of anti-heroes, right? Like they're heroes in this super messed up kind of dystopian society
blue
or
dick
whatever.
guy?
Yeah, is Dr.
Yeah,
Manhattan
Dr.
in this?
Manhattan. I have no idea. I must.
Yeah.
I don't
I was
know.
hoping
I don't,
there would be like a hint at
I
the
think
end.
Jeremy Irons is Ozymandias, maybe.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
think he
sure,
is.
but that sounds awesome if that's the case, because I love that actor and he's one of the best characters
Yeah.
in the
I
graphic novel.
loved the graphic novel. I didn't love the movie, but I love the
Did you
graphic.
see the
no-
director's cut?
No, I
It's
haven't.
way better.
Is it better?
Yeah.
I need to watch it, but because I loved the graphic novel, I really did, and I liked a lot of the movie. And I think it was just the ending that they went so off course with and didn't bring the octopus
Which
in.
actually, your very own Collider's Haley Fouch
Yes.
wrote a really excellent article on why the ending of the movies actually works better and why it's a good adaptation of the comic.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So go read that.
What did you think of the trailer before we get out of here?
Yeah, I loved it. I loved pretty much everything you said, how it's setting it up. I'm confused as well. I don't know. Is it taking place after Watchmen?
Right.
The movie or the comics?
Right.
Are they getting rid of the Zack Snyder just to start their own thing? And it's like, this is a sequel to the comic
Yeah, they
book.
haven't said anything.
It's really
And
kind
it's
of...
also there's a comic book sequel that came out.
Right.
And I didn't read that yet.
I didn't
but,
either.
But
Have
I
I
don't know.
liked a Zack Snyder movie?
What's that?
Have I liked a Zack Snyder movie?
I
I don't
hope
know.
so. You didn't like Man of Steel?
You don't know. You hated Man of Steel. I love Man of
I
Steel.
love it so
Me
much.
too. Man of Steel is probably my favorite DC movie. All right, but listen, we have another conversation.
Sorry.
We can carry it over tomorrow. But what a wonderful show it was today, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of good stuff. I mean, this was just a very fast-paced show because there's so much going on. I'd like to thank Dorina and Reilly and Macuga, everyone who joined us here today. Cody, Alex, Roca, Sir Davos himself, Liam Cunningham, and we will see you guys tomorrow. But make sure you get those tickets at theshmoedownlive.com. May 18th, you can also get the live stream tickets. Download the shows as well, whether it's this show, the Schmoedown. You can download and listen to them. You should, because it's fun to listen to things. All right, see you later.